Swish, swish. The sword light swept out, traversing 10,000 kilometers. The mountain mist sword's sword beam descended from the sky, landing right in front of Zhao Wushuang. Qi. Both of Zhao Wushuang's hands were cut off. If it were not for Qin Shuang saving him from the back in time, he probably would have been killed by the mountain mist sword. How is this possible? Even a misty mountain sword has been awakened? Zhao Wuji was astonished. Brother Zhao, let's work together. You come to suppress the misty mountain sword of the Zhang family. I will go kill Zhang Yu. Qin Shuang didn't dare face it. He wanted to break up and take action. Okay, no matter what, the Zhang clan absolutely cannot be awakened. As Zhao Wutian spoke, he and Qin Shuang made their moves at the same time. Whiz. Suddenly, the mountain mist sword returned into Zhang Yu's hands, and at the instant that Zhang Yu's body was in the grasp of the mountain mist sword, he abruptly opened his eyes. Boom! A black ray of light burst out from Zhang Yu's eyes. Wherever the light went, everything rotten and decayed. Zhao Wushuang and Qin Shuang dodged it, but the disciples of the Zhao family behind them were not so lucky. After being swept by the light, their entire bodies started to rot, as if they were withered and yellow. Ding! Ding! When the system beep appeared in time, Zhang Yu killed his own men. Long Fei did not mind it too much, because these people only had a little experience at most, so there was nothing much to look forward to. On the other hand, Zhang Yu made Long Fei pay more attention to him. At the same time, Zhang Yu's aura also abruptly changed and broke through. Only after reaching the 5th floor did this transformation finally come to an end. Level up 5 consecutively. This rate of leveling was something that even Long Fei was extremely envious of. Brat, it's your turn. No matter what, save this brat. His power is the key for you to escape this land of primal chaos. Suddenly, Long Beishan's voice appeared again in his mind. Long Fei was startled, just when he was about to say that Zhang Yu's profound spirit qi was so berserk, and his eyes could kill a group of ancient almighty powerhouse, much more powerful than him, who had the system. So why did he need to do this? But in the blink of an eye, the power from Zhang Yu's body suddenly disappeared. At this moment, the mountain mist sword lost all of its radiance as well. Even Zhang Yu himself was instantly paralyzed on the ground with a confused expression on his face. F***CK. I failed at such a crucial moment. Long Fei cursed. He had no choice but to step forward and block the path in front of Zhang Yu. Kid, who are you? Zhao Wuji asked coldly. Who am I? Aren't you looking for me? You stared at me for a long time. Don't you know who I am? Long Fei retorted. When he saw Zhao Wuji attack in the air earlier, Long Fei knew that Zhao Wuji was the person who hid in the air back then. You're courting death. Zhao Wutian's eyes turned cold as he glanced at Zhao Shua. Zhao Shua took the hint and looked at Zhang Yingtian. Elder Zhang, this brat is the boss of your Zhang family's trash. His survival is an insult to your Zhang family. If you kill him, the stain on your Zhang family will disappear. Everyone will know that you, Zhang Yingtian, have cleansed the Zhang family's humiliation. You are the Zhang family's belief. Zhao Shua said. Long Fei could even kill Zhao Hao. Although this matter was still unknown, with so many people personally witnessing it, how could he dare to make a move against Long Fei? Sure enough, Zhang Yingtian's eyes lit up. Now that Zhang Shou is dead, he is the legitimate leader of the Zhang family. However, he could clearly feel that the words just now had aroused the displeasure of the people behind him. And Zhao Shua's words gave him hope. Brat, there's a path to heaven, but you refuse to take it. Hell has no doors, yet you choose to throw it away. I originally wanted to finish you off after dealing with today's matter, but I didn't expect you to deliver yourself to my doorstep. Die! Zhang Yingtian rushed over with a hideous smile on his face as he swung his sword down. Laughing your ass. I've long been unhappy with you, old fart. Boom. Asterisk. 8 extreme explosion. Long Fei mobilized his strength and condensed his power into one fist. One punch broke through all obstacles. Puff. Zhang Yingtian's body was sent flying and the limestone collapsed. You little bastard, you're looking to die? I'm going to kill you. Zhang Yingtian's figure flew out of the pit and into the air. Just now I was careless, and you ambushed me. This time you're going to die. 10,000 swords slash. Die. Zhang Yingtian used his sword, but the sword turned into millions of swords. Boss, be careful. This is the supreme cultivation technique of the Zhang family, the myriad swords slash. It is very powerful. Zhang Yu weakly reminded. No worries, I'm only at the second level of the super great circle. With this level cultivation, I can kill him with my bare hands. Long Fei said indifferently. Although Zhang Yingtian was an elder, he didn't even have the glow of a boss. With his current cultivation, he couldn't even be considered an elite monster. At most, it would be considered a high-level monster. It was nothing to worry about. Are you so awesome just because you're standing tall? Get the hell down here, Long Fei shouted. In the next moment, Long Fei activated Death God's possession, crossing over 10,000 swords, and arrived in front of Zhang Yingtian. Old fart, what lousy looks down on the most is a beast like you, who is selling his ancestors for glory. You want to be the head of the family, and you dare to bully my brother. I, Long Fei's brother, am also someone that trash like you can bully? Even if you die, I will let you die in my brother's hands, Long Fei said, as he punched out, directly striking Zhang Yingtian's head. Boom! Zhang Yingtian's body fell down heavily once again. This action was even more vicious. Half of the body of the society was buried in the earth, and the real person was on the verge of death. Swish! Silence filled the air as everyone present stared in disbelief at the scene before them. The dignified elder of the Zhang family was actually crippled by a single punch from Long Fei. Zhang Yu, his head is right here. How do you want to kill him? Long Fei turned and said to Zhang Yu. At the same time, Long Fei also placed a pellet into Zhang Yu's mouth, and with the replenishment of the pellet, Zhang Yu recovered his strength. Then, Zhang Yu walked step by step towards Zhang Yingtian. Don't kill me. I even hugged you when you were young. The last time you wanted to practice the sword, it was still the demon beast I found for you. Don't kill me. I know I was wrong. Please don't kill me. Zhang Yingtian's face was full of fear and unease. Now that he was in Zhang Yu's hands, he could only plead for mercy. Don't kill you? Ha ha ha. When you forced my father, why didn't you think of the family's feelings? When you were selling your ancestors for glory, did you ever think about what a clan was? When you begged someone to kill me and acted like a dog, what was the family to you? Now you're telling me about the family? Too late. Zhang Yu laughed, but his eyes were bloodshot. With a slash of his saber, Zhang Yingtian's head fell to the ground. As for Long Fei, following Zhang Yu killing Zhang Yingtian, the system's notification sound appeared again. Ding! Long Fei was indifferent and did not mind. Long Fei was indifferent and did not mind. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Zhang Yingtian. You have obtained 50,000 experience, 500,000 holy source points, and 1 striking value. So it's like that. Long Fei secretly cursed in his heart. This time, it was just as he had expected. There were no accidents, only a high-level monster. Kid, are you really going to go against my Zhao family? Zhao Wuqian said with a solemn tone. The reason he did not make a move was because he knew that Long Fei's methods were extraordinary. Otherwise, he would have made his move long ago. Others might not know, but he knew it. Zhao Hao had worn the inherited treasure of his Zhao family. In that situation, even if he attacked, he wouldn't be able to completely break Zhao Hao's defense. But even then, he was still defeated by Long Fei and fell into the abyss. That was the reason why he didn't take action even when he was in the void, watching the Zhao family suffering heavy casualties. Is your Zhao family that powerful? Can't you touch it? Long Fei asked. Even Xian's Long Fei dared to go head-on against him, and even Sky's sovereign killed 2 of them. Kid, the Zhao family is not something you can offend. Besides, there's something you don't know, do you? Beside your woman is a ghost that this old man has refined. As long as the idea, move, your woman will have a chance to die. Ha ha ha, an array master, and an absolute beauty. If you dare to go against my Zhao family, I can guarantee that when you go back, you will see a corpse. If you obediently retreat now, I can let your woman be safe and sound." Zhao Wuji said with a confident face, but he did not notice that with every word he said, Long Fei's face grew darker. After he finished speaking, Long Fei's face was filled with killing intent. What he hated the most was for others to threaten him with those around him. F***CK, your ancestors. Zhao Tiantian, you are an elder of the Zhao family in vain. Your Zhao family is nothing more than a bunch of trash who only use women to threaten you. Zhang Yu roared. He could feel that Long Fei's aura was getting colder and colder, and he also knew that Zhao Wutian had touched Long Fei's reverse scale. Haha, so what? No one can make an enemy out of my Zhao family. In this unknown place, my Zhao family is the ruler. Zhao Wutian was extraordinarily proud, but after seeing Long Fei's silence, he was even more certain of his guess. And you little bastard. No wonder that old bastard Zhang Shou cared so much about you. He didn't even hesitate to use his life to protect you. Unfortunately, it was useless. All of you will belong to my Zhao family. Zhao Wutian proudly said. He thought that he had already restrained Long Fei, which was why he dared to be so fearless. But what he did not know was that, at this moment, Long Fei was calculating a method to kill Zhao Wuji. As for Yu, Long Fei was not the least bit worried. Not to mention, even if Zhao Wutian went, Long Fei would not care about raising a ghost. They were the masters of the 10 planes. Every single one of them was an old monster that had lived for 1,000 years. Their cultivations were already above Zhao Wutian's. With his abilities, even 10 of them would not be enough to suppress him. Long Fei pondered in his heart. Killing Zhao Wuji wasn't difficult for him at all. It was just that Long Fei didn't want to reveal it too early. Although Thousand Sun City was only a city in the Bedlam lands, it was extremely special. The Zhao, Qin, and Zhang families were 3 great holy artifact inheritances. If Zhang Yu was able to awaken the power of the great emperor, then what about the Zhao family? What about the Qin family? Could this also have something to do with the Bedlam lands? This was what Long Fei wanted to know. Just at this time, Zhang Yu took a step forward and walked in front of Long Fei. "Boss, what should we do? Why don't you go back first? I'll hold him back." Zhang Yu said with a worried expression. "What are you talking about? Do I, Long Fei, look like someone who abandoned brothers?" Long Fei said with a darkened face. "No, boss, you have to go back. Sister-in-law is in danger right now, so it's not worth it to put sister-in-law in danger for me." Zhang Yu grasped the misty mountain sword and said hastily, "Don't worry, this old man should be more honest. Otherwise, he will know the meaning of despair." Long Fei smiled meaningfully and looked at Zhao Wutian. Zhao Wutian reacted with a face full of pride. "What? Have you decided, boy? Do you want a woman or a piece of trash?" Zhao Wuji asked coldly. What he wanted more now was Zhang Yu's power. As for Long Fei, he did not put him in his eyes at all. As long as they could obtain the power of Emperor Corrupt, at that time, who would dare disobey in this unknown region? Qin Shuang also seemed to be deep in thought. Although the Qin family was not as powerful as the Zhao family, they were still crazy when faced with such power. No, we absolutely cannot let the Zhao family obtain the Zhang family's decaying power. Otherwise, how can our Qin family have a foothold in this Thousand Sun City? Qin Shuang's eyes moved slightly. He did not make a sound and retreated a step. Of course, this could not be hidden from Zhao Wushuang. "What? Your Qin family wants to die?" As Zhao Wutian spoke, he gave a cold smile to Tintin. "Brother Zhao, what are you saying?" "I'm here to stop the Zhang boy from escaping," Qin Shuang immediately said. Zhao Wushuang was very strong, and he was not someone he could deal with. "As long as you know, if your Qin family disobeys, the Zhang family will be the example of your previous actions." Zhao Wushuang snorted coldly and walked towards Long Fei. "Brat, this old man will give you a choice. If you are still here within 3 breaths of time, I will activate my ghost and destroy your woman's soul." Zhao Wutian was extremely unyielding, as if victory was already in his grasp. 3. Zhao Wushuang stepped forward and said a number. 2. Zhao Wushuang continued. But Long Fei was not moved by his words. On the contrary, he had an expression of watching a performance. All right, boy. It seems that you have already made your choice. Since that's the case, then you can go back and collect your woman's corpse. Zhao Wushuang said viciously. He formed a hand seal with his hand, forming a puppet seal for a month and a half. The power of the ghosts explode. Zhao Wushuang shouted. At the same time, as Zhao Wushuang exerted his power, Yuro was hundreds of miles away. Yuro's grandfather, who was originally on the verge of death, suddenly opened his eyes. Roar! The grandpa howled as he walked in the direction of Yuro, as though he had lost his soul. Whiz! However, just as he was about to enter the room where the Euro clinic was located, numerous figures appeared out of thin air. The Lord of the 10 Planets had descended. Phantom puppet? With this kind of method, do you really need to make so many of us wait? It seems like this woman isn't ordinary in the master's heart. You idiot, I didn't listen to my master's instructions. This is my mistress. The 10 planar lords had looks of disdain on their faces. Staring at the eruption of rage in front of them, they couldn't even move. In any case, the credit today belongs to me, so no one is allowed to take it. A mere ghost, go to hell. The Demon Master was the first to approach. Destroy. The aura of devilish energy surged from the Demon Lord's body. The devilish flame in his hand burned, and with a slight wave of his hand, it gathered onto Grandpa Yuro's body. Yeah! Instantly, a series of blood-curdling screams rang out from within Grandpa Yuro's body. The wails and howls were extremely ear-piercing. So noisy. What the heck is this kind of thing? How can it become a puppet? In my plane, I don't even have the chance to be reincarnated. As he spoke, he moved his hand and pulled out an illusory body from his grandfather's body. Die. The master of the demon origin sector's eyes flickered, and the devil fire in his hand instantly bloomed. In his hands, the ghost didn't even have the strength to struggle before it dissipated. At this time, at the Zhang family residence, when Long Fei saw the change in Zhao Wushuang's expression, he knew in his heart that the master of the realm had already made his move. At the same time, the prompt appeared again in his sea of consciousness. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the ghost puppet. You have obtained 100,000 experience, 10,000 holy source points, and 1 striking value point. The appearance of this voice meant that the existence within Grandpa Yuro's body had already been wiped out. No, that's not possible. The ghost puppet has already been refined by this old man to the point where it cannot be destroyed. Even a perfect, great perfection powerhouse would not be able to kill it. Who is it? Who did it? Zhao Wuji looked at his hands in disbelief. Puff! In the next moment, Zhao Wushuang spat out a mouthful of blood. It was extremely stinky. It was obvious that he had suffered a backlash, because the destruction of the ghost puppet had affected his own body. What is it? Continue shouting? If you give this daddy a choice, do you have the qualifications to do so? Long Fei said with a playful look. If it was other than that, Long Fei might not be so calm. However, counting on a spirit to threaten Long Fei was just wishful thinking. Such a threat did not have any value. Where is your spirit? Yet you touched my woman and gave you face, didn't you? Long Fei took a step forward and said proudly, It's you, kid. It looks like this old man has still underestimated you. But even so what? My young master will return in a few days, and he will surely rule the world. As Zhao Wushuang spoke, he looked at Long Fei hatefully. Long Fei was slightly taken aback and thought of the Abyss Demon Prison. Just when Long Fei was in a daze, Zhao Wushuang and Qin Shuang immediately retreated. Zhao Wushuang did not stay any longer, knowing that Long Fei's methods were not ordinary. Qin Shuang was naturally not stupid. Even Zhao Wushuang did not dare to stay, and he would not risk his life. Search! The 2 lights submerged and disappeared from the spot. Long Fei did not mind. These 2 would at most have 1,000,000 experience, but to Long Fei, who needed 10 billion experience to level up, they were not attractive at all. However, once they left, the remaining people were no longer a concern. Boss, How should we deal with these people? Zhang Yu asked. Up to you. It's your family business anyway. Long Fei said indifferently. The Zhang family had been crippled. With the death of Zhang Shou, Zhang Yingtian had betrayed and was killed. It could be said that the Zhang clan no longer had a high level of combat strength. With just Zhang Yu alone, unless he truly awakened the power of the great Emperor of Decay, he wouldn't be able to hold the Zhang clan up. The reason why Long Fei gave it to Zhang Yu was to let him vent, so that he wouldn't leave behind his inner demons. When Zhang Yu heard this, he turned around and looked at these people with a murderous look on his face. Zhang Yu, what are you doing? I am a member of the Zhao family. Your Zhang family no longer has any powerful warriors. Do you really want your Zhang family to perish? Zhao Shuo was afraid, retreating step by step. Zhang Yu continuously broke through. Even if the power of his awakening disappeared again, it was still not something he could handle. What is it? What do you think? Where did your arrogance go? Isn't the Zhao family lawless? If it weren't for you, my Zhang family would have fallen to this day, and our family would have been ruined. Zhang Yu was filled with hatred. Yes, he hated that, in a single night, the root of the huge Zhang family tree was the Zhao family. No, this has nothing to do with me. I'm just a little kid in the Zhao family. I'm just following orders. Being pressured by Zhang Yu's killing intent, Zhao Shuo only felt his legs being smashed by 1,000 jin. He was simply unable to move at all. As he trembled, a stream of yellow-white color stepped aside, and he immediately peed his pants. Haha, good job of following orders. Don't you know what character your Zhao family has? Go to hell. Zhang Yu took a single step forward. His cultivation base, at the 5th level of the super perfection stage, exploded. With a slash of his sword, Zhao Shuo was cut into 2 before he could even beg for mercy. Puff, puff, one strike after another. Zhang Yu killed without a pause. It was as if his body was possessed by a god of death. He did not say anything, but only continued his slaughter. Long Fei sighed deeply. One day, I will go all the way to the end and let these self-righteous and arrogant clans know the taste of being forcefully suppressed. And the Xian's S and the ancient family S of the divine space, just wait. Long Fei was resolute in his heart. Seeing Zhang Yu's grief, he had a feeling in his heart. Time passed minute by minute. After an hour, Zhang Yu's slaughter finally stopped. Thousands of Zhao family disciples had all died on the spot. Ding! Ding! The system beeped out a series of notifications, but there was no pauses in between. There are thousands of people, but it's only the 200,000 experience system. Do you even dare to scam your dad? Long Fei looked at the long experience bar with a helpless expression. Only now did Zhang Yu's massacre stop, and only the Zhang clan remained. Young master, don't kill me, I was wrong. I'm not human. I shouldn't have betrayed the clan. I shouldn't have been duped by the great elder. Yes, young master, give us another chance. We truly know our wrongs. No matter if it was the Zhang clan elders or the Zhang clan disciples, at this moment, they were all begging for forgiveness. Zhang Yu's massacre made them tremble in fear. Other than begging for mercy, they had no other way. You can leave now. From now on, I am no longer a member of the Zhang clan. Whether the Zhang clan lives or dies has nothing to do with me. Zhang Yu said in a deep voice. As for the Zhang family, after this calamity, Zhang Yu was completely awake. There was no hope for such a family. No, young lord, you have awakened the power of our ancestor. You are the guide of our Zhang family. Only you can bring our Zhang family to its peak. Yes, young lord, you can stay. As long as you stay, even if I were to die in the future, I will not disgrace the Zhang clan in the slightest. Please, young lord, stay. The people from the Zhang clan continued to wail, but Zhang Yu's heart was already dead. Step by step, he walked outside unmoved. Regarding Zhang Yu's choice, Long Fei did not obstruct him and quickly followed. Just at this time, a strange sound came from the god's pavilion. Master, this isn't good. The 10 planar lords that were left behind the Yu clan were suppressed by some sort of power. God's pavilion, who had reconstructed his body, was absolutely loyal to Long Fei, and the media was the god's pavilion. Now that the god's pavilion had hinted at it, Long Fei was shocked. Suppressed? Could it be that someone has made a move? F***CK. Someone who can suppress those old freaks. Has the boss appeared again? All the way through. All the way through. Long Fei's speed was extremely fast. Even though the masters of the 10 planes couldn't be considered to be extremely vicious, their strengths were all tyrannical. But even so, it was still suppressed. The one-time suppression was super perfect, relying on the current Zhao family. They did not have such a method. Hurry up. Master, I feel like they can no longer hold on. If they're suppressed this time, even I am unable to help them rebuild their bodies. The God's Pavilion urged. With the death of the God's Pavilion, his fleshly body would truly be dead and would not be able to be remodeled. Hearing that, Long Fei's heart tensed up. Are you King selling me out? Your father's super perfect army hasn't even crossed once, and you're already going to be suppressed? No matter who, if you dare to touch my people, I will beat you to death. Long Fei instantly sped up, and in the time of 3 breaths, he had covered hundreds of miles. You family. The leaders of the 10 planets looked miserable. Their bones were all over the place, and they no longer had any power left. Just a little pressure would be enough to kill them all. Eldest sister-in-law, quickly leave. This person is not someone you can deal with. Stop carving the array. If we can find Master, he will come to save us. It doesn't matter if we die, but nothing can happen to you. Master's order is for us to protect you. The planar lords, enduring the tremendous pressure, all spoke out wildly. Their faces were ferocious as their arms were crushed. However, they gritted their teeth as they resisted the pressure that descended from the skies. Still not dead? Truly tenacious. Speak. Who is the one who released you from the prison? You bunch of infernal prison sinners. This young master would like to see who has the guts to bring you out. Zhao Hao said with a vicious expression. The power in his hands was getting more and more violent. Bullshit. What son of chaos? In front of my master, he's nothing but trash. When my master returns, I can kill you with a flip of my hand. The demon master still had a bit of battle power, so the demonic energy formed a barrier that protected Euro. He said angrily, Haha, is your master really that powerful? I refuse to believe it. I've already acquired the Chaos Gold Lotus. I'm now the ruler of this Chaos region. Zhao Hao was proud and aloof as he stood in the air. The more he spoke, the more crazy he became. At this time, Long Fei finally arrived. Upon seeing the sight before him, the killing intent in Long Fei's heart instantly erupted. Zhao Hao, F***CK, your whole family. Long Fei immediately joined the battle. The heaven-revolving murderer in his hand condensed into a long blade. With a sweep, he cut off Zhao Hao's attack. He couldn't tolerate it. The leaders of the 10 planes were basically crippled. More importantly, Yuro's body's aura had already weakened to the extreme. It was even more serious than burning his life force to form the formation previously. It's actually you. You dog, you have such big guts. You even dare to release the culprits of the Chaos Inferno prison? Zhao Hao said indifferently, and a bright light flashed in his eyes. Long Fei went silent, his expression terrifyingly ice-cold. He could feel that Yuro's health point was decreasing in a way that could be seen with the naked eye. If he had arrived a few seconds later, he might have seen a corpse. Long Fei's heart felt like it was on fire. A wave of killing intent that overflowed into the heavens exploded outwards. At this time, it didn't matter what kind of existence Zhao Hao was. Long Fei did not care whether it was a boss or not. He only wanted to torture Zhao Hao and crush him to death with his strongest move. You guys go back first, Long Fei said, and instructed the Demon Origin Master and the others. Although they were severely injured, their souls had not perished. When they returned to the God's Pavilion, it wouldn't be long before they recovered. Master, he's very strong. Although his cultivation base is only at the 6th level of perfection, his strength has a type of overwhelming suppressive force. The Master of the Devil Origin said, It's nothing. No matter what power he has, I will destroy him today. Long Fei said firmly, So. In the next moment, The moon slaughtered Devil Sovereign, and his men disappeared into thin air, fleeing into the god's pavilion. When Zhao Hao saw this scene, he became ecstatic. This power was too strange, so strange that Zhao Hao was eager to take it for himself. Kid, hand over the secret you're controlling, and I'll spare your dog life. Zhao Hao threatened. I'll give it to your mom. I swear I'll kill you today. If I don't, I won't be named Long anymore. Long Fei said coldly. This time, Long Fei was really angry. Originally, Long Fei felt a sense of grievance after Zhao Hao fell into the abyss and the primal chaos treasure even disappeared. Now that Zhao Hao had returned, the aura of primal chaos on his body was very strong. Needless to say, he had already acquired the chaos treasure. As long as I kill you, the chaos treasure will still be mine. Cheers! Long Fei's eyes flashed as he instantly rushed forward. Boom! The punch was clean and swift. The destructive power exploded out of his fist. Savage. Violence. He did not hesitate at all. Boom! Asterisk, Zhao Hao's body suddenly dropped down and was flipped over by Long Fei. How is it? Is it good? Threatening your father? Are you qualified? You think obtaining the chaos treasure is so awesome. In my eyes, you are just a monster. That's not right. It should be a boss by now. Long Fei's eyes flashed. Just a moment ago, there was no light coming from Zhao Hao's body. But now, under this punch, a boss appeared. Ah, trash, you've angered me. I will make you die. I will make you die completely under my power of primal chaos. Chaotic force burst out from Zhao Hao's hand, and instantly, the color of the sky changed. The entire fearless land of primal chaos had become unpredictable because of this power. This was the Bedlam lands, and at this moment, Zhao Hao's chaotic force had formed some sort of connection with this world. All of a sudden, in a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles, streams of spiritual power crazily rushed into Zhao Hao's body. Zhao Hao's cultivation continued to rise, and his aura became stronger. The 6th level, the 7th level, and the 8th level. Instant triple slash. He broke through to the 8th level of the Paragons. Trash dot. Zhao Hao attacked brazenly. Under this move, the skies seemed to be crushing down. The immense pressure caused both of Long Fei's legs to collapse, deeply embedded into the ground. Long Fei gritted his teeth as he stared at Zhao Hao. He dares to resist? As the son of the primal chaos, I have to bear the destiny of the primal chaos. My strength is also the power of the primal chaos. So how can trash like you face me? Kneel! Zhao Hao's power was becoming more and more berserk, while the light coming from the boss was also becoming more and more dazzling. At the same time, a large amount of chaotic clouds descended from the sky. In an instant, the sun and moon lost their light, and the entire world was covered in darkness. In the distance, numerous figures could be seen flying through the air. They were the people from the Zhao family and the Qin family. They were naturally able to sense this shocking change. At this time, in the darkness, a sword light slashed out at Zhao Hao. You dare to hurt my boss? Zhao Hao, you better die. Boom! A single sword strike descended, carrying with it a decaying energy. Zhang Yu once again awakened. Under the oppression of the primal chaos, he awakened his own decaying power. Zhang Yu once again awakened. Under the oppression of the primal chaos, he awakened his own decaying power. Even the misty mountain sword was awakened once more as the decaying bloody light broke through the chaos and slashed down. The Zhang family's decaying power? You think you can hurt me like this? Come out, chaotic armor. Zhao Hao disapproved. He didn't even bother to dodge Zhang Yu's sword attack. Swish! A suit of armor instantly condensed on Zhao Hao's body. This armor was exactly the same as the chaotic force that Zhao Hao had used. Streams of chaotic force surged out from it. Asterisk Zhang Yu's sword landed heavily, but the result was shockingly terrifying. This sword attack was enough to instantly kill a supreme expert at the peak of perfection. However, at this time, even Zhao Hao's defense was not broken, leaving only a shallow mark on the armor. Just this little bit of strength? Trash, trash are all trash. Haha, with just you two alone, you still dare to fight against me? Do you think you're the only one who has awakened? Trash. Zhao Hao was extremely arrogant. He held the misty mountain sword in one hand and stomped Zhang Yu heavily on the ground with one foot. Puff! The injuries on Zhang Yu's body had yet to recover, and with this kick, he almost fainted. However, he still refused to admit defeat and stared fiercely at Zhao Hao. What? Are you still unconvinced? Boom! Asterisk with one step. The power of chaos pierced through Zhang Yu's body, and his expression began to distort. Are you convinced? Boom! Asterisk Zhang Yu could no longer hold on as he tightly held onto the mountain mist sword. You dog! How dare you oppose me? Bang! Zhao Hao bombarded him again and again until Zhang Yu's entire body was submerged in the limestone. Only then did he start to withdraw his attack. Young Master Hao is so strong. In just a few short days, he actually broke through to the 8th level of the Supreme Grand Perfection realm. Ah, I knew it. The ancestor said that the young master would be fine and that the king would definitely return. Now that the young master has awakened and broken through again and again, who could be a match for my Zhao family? So that's how it is. With this kind of power, who else is there in the entire Qianyang city? Our Zhao family is destined to become the most powerful family in Thousand Sun City. These two reckless dogs actually dared to block the way of young master. Their deaths are not worth lamenting. In the distance, the Zhao family members were boiling with excitement. The scene was too explosive, burning the thirst in their hearts. Although they were only disciples, they knew that it was better to take advantage of the shade. As long as Zhao Hao was there, their Zhao family would definitely be able to leap and become a peak-level family. They could be either the Qin or the Zhang family. On the other hand, the members of the Qin family looked at each other with bitter expressions. All this time, they had been advancing and retreating together with the Zhao family. But now, the distance between the two families had widened. Zhao Hao's strength was almost invincible. The Qin family was no match for him. Now we must do something. We must show our worth in front of the Zhao family. Yes, before Wu Yu wakes up, we will definitely follow the lead of the Zhao family. Let us, the Qin, attack these two brats. We must show our best in front of the Zhao family. The members of the Qin clan looked at Zhao Hao's display of might, and their hearts trembled uncontrollably. The moment Zhao Hao made his move, they knew that the era of the three great families was gone. The only ruler of the Zhao family. For a moment, the Qin family decisively attacked. Qin Wu also took a step forward. Brother Zhao. It was a blessing in disguise. Little brother is full of admiration. Ka! Asterisk Wu Yu broke the woman's neck behind her. Brother Zhao, this kind of slut will harm our relationship. She should be killed. And this kid, he doesn't need you to do anything. Just let me do it. Qin Wu said. The Qin family, huh? Haha, you're quite talented at being a dog. This young master will accept you. Zhao Hao laughed crazily. Although he was unwilling, there was nothing he could do. Brat, the time of your death has come. You actually dare to offend Brother Zhao. I will finish you off. Fong Tianning merge. When Qin Wu made his move, a large seal appeared in his hand. The huge seal fell down and became incomparably huge, like a small mountain. He heavily smashed down. The corner of Long Fei's mouth quirked into a cold smile. Right now, the killing intent in Long Fei's heart had reached its peak. Just now, he had been crushed by Zhao Hao's aura, and the anger in his chest had grown. If Little Green hadn't treated him in time, he would probably have been injured by now. Another holy artifact. Very good, I'll accept it. Long Fei looked at the huge seal descending from the sky indifferently, his hand summoning a great killing weapon. Break for me. In an instant, Long Fei shot into the sky, broke free from Zhao Hao's suppression, and broke through the shackles of the primal chaos. Boom, boom, boom. As the two forces collided, the killing weapon turned into an iron rod, directly knocking out Fong Tianning. You want to kill me with just this bit of skill? You have to rub your eyes when you're a dog. Long Fei said in disdain. Since you like being a dog so much, then kneel down for me right now. Boom. Asterisk long. Fei swung his pole down. Puff. Qin Wuyue landed heavily on the ground. Even if he only had Holy Artifact and did not awaken, he could not match up with Holy Artifact at all, and was just a piece of trash. It seemed like the ant was able to reach his broadsword, so he didn't have the strength to kill. Kid, you dare. Qin Wuyue's hair was in disarray, his aura was disordered, and his scalp had turned numb for being smashed by Long Fei, making him feel dizzy and dizzy. Dare? There is nothing in this world that your father wouldn't dare to do. Bang! Yet another staff strike. An abyss was created as the ground was smashed. Qin Wuyue's body was crushed beneath it. At this moment, Qin Wuyue finally started to panic. Even though she was heavily injured, she did not have the courage to charge towards Long Fei. Don't! Big brother, master, don't fight anymore. I admit defeat. Qin Wuyue said without any shame. In the face of life and death, what dignity, what morals, all had been abandoned by Qin Wuyue. However, this was to be expected. In order to curry favor with Zhao Hao, he had even beheaded his own woman without any hesitation, let alone letting go of his dignity. Big brother, I was wrong. I really know that I was wrong. I kneel down. I'm a dog. Wong, let me go, let me live. Qin Wuyue continued to speak. Long Fei said with a cold smile. You're right, you're just a dog. Not only you, but your entire Qin family is a bunch of bastards. Go to hell. Long Fei did not hesitate to use his killing weapon to turn into a long blade, and the blade slashed down, decapitating Qin Wuyue's head. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Qin Wuyue. You have obtained 100,000 experience points. Holy Source points, 1 point. Striking value, 1 point. Ding! Congratulations to Wang family, Long Fei for obtaining the Fong Tian seal. The appearance of the system notification was not unexpected for Long Fei. To Long Fei, Qin Wuyue's level was like a monster that he did not have any expectations for. On the other hand, took a few more glances at Fong Tianying. Fong Tianying, super artifact. Attributes, suppression. Description, the ancient inheritance holy artifact of the unknown land of primal chaos. One of the locations of the jade butterfly, primal chaos. Long Fei's face froze, and he took Fong Tianying in his hands. An inexplicable sense of familiarity assaulted his heart. F***CK. Why does this look like the jade my grandfather gave me? Long Fei suddenly felt a sense of astonishment. The reason he entered this unknown place was firstly to avoid Emperor Xian from raising his cultivation, and secondly, to find the owner of the jade pendant because of his grandfather's words. Could it be that this jade pendant is also one of the combinations of the Chaos Jade Butterfly? Long Fei's heart was filled with anticipation. Long Fei's heart was filled with anticipation. If that jade pendant was really a part of the Chaos Jade Butterfly, then it would be a holy artifact too. What level would the Chaos Jade Butterfly be if all the holy artifact combined into one? Where's his master? Could it be the Lord of Chaos? Long Fei guessed. But right now, Long Fei was not in the mood to check. After all, there was still another boss in front of him. Trash. The Qin family is also trash. With this cultivation, he's not even fit to be my dog. Zhao Hao didn't spare him a glance. Zhao Hao looked down from above at Long Fei. Indeed, you have a great secret on your body. No wonder the power of the primal chaos golden lotus is so repulsive towards you. However, don't think that just because you killed trash like Qin Wuyue, you have the qualifications to act so rampant in front of me. If I want to kill you, it's as easy as crushing an ant. Zhao Hao is a genius in every aspect. Even now, he did not forget to show off his skills. F***CKU, if you want to fight, then go ahead. Don't F***King think you're the boss that's going to be reared by this daddy here. Now that you've been reared successfully, it's naturally time for me to reap the harvest. You think that you are very awesome? Fine, then I'll let you know what a true ultimate kill is. God of Heaven fanatics, lock on. Long Fei's power had already been prepared. At least Zhao Hao had already evolved into a boss. It wouldn't be a loss if he used the power of the god of heaven madman on him. Ding! System lock is successful. God of heaven berserk, behead. Long Fei remained as still as a bell. The great killing weapon in his hand transformed into the shape of a supreme dragon knife, bearing the power of the god of heaven ferocious as he instantly slashed down. This slash was extremely fast. A light flashed and landed on Zhao Hao's body. Crack! 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 The armor shattered. Zhao Hao's facial expression changed drastically. The chaotic force in his body erupted, and he quickly repaired it. Impossible! How can a trash like you unleash such power? I don't believe it, Zhao Hao said as he repaired the chaos armor. Trash? Those are the two words that Lousy hates the most. I always thought that I was above everyone else, but what I didn't know was that in my eyes, you're not even comparable to a piece of trash. God of Heaven Berserk, second slash. Long Fei shouted. Whiz! The saber light flashed, locked onto Zhao Hao, and chopped down again. Boom! Asterisk under this blade attack. Zhao Hao's primal chaos armor completely shattered. No! Zhao Hao reached out his hand to stop it, but the real primal chaos armor just disappeared right in front of his eyes. Impossible! This is impossible. I don't believe it. I've obtained the Chaos Golden Lotus, so how could you possibly hurt me? Zhao Hao was still in disbelief, and he quickly activated the chaotic force. Instantly, a golden lotus appeared in his hands. Above the golden lotus was the power of primal chaos. Is it a primal chaos treasure? It just so happens to be mine. Long Fei's eyes flashed. God of Heaven Berserk, behead. As the sound of his voice faded, the third saber strike descended. At this moment, Zhao Hao truly didn't dare to take the blow head-on. Even his primordial godly armor had shattered. He was afraid that even the golden chaos lotus wouldn't be able to withstand it. However, if there were no mishaps and the system locked onto him, then there was no chance of him escaping. With a kacha sound, the chaos golden lotus was chopped apart and dissipated into the air. Zhao Hao's hair was in disarray, and he had long since lost his previous insolence. Don't kill me, don't kill me. I'm the child of primal chaos. I know many secrets. Spare me. I can tell you the secret contained within the chaos treasure. Zhao Hao began to beg for mercy. As matters stood, he had no other power. Facing this move that was named by Long Fei, he no longer dared to face it. Begging for mercy? You're the F** King's son of primal chaos. How can you beg for mercy? Come, stand up. I still have a fourth slash. Long Fei said coldly. Begging for mercy? Does not exist. He had crushed Zhang Yu into such a miserable state, nearly crippling the leaders of the Ten Plains. It was unclear whether or not he was the reason for Yu Ro's death. How could he expect Long Fei to let him go under such circumstances? Impossible. Moreover, the current Zhao Hao was a boss. Although he was not as strong as the Undead Lord, he was still a boss whose light could break through the sky. But at least it was a boss, and an existence that was born to be a little monster, Long Fei himself. How could Long Fei let them go? As for Long Fei, he would never let go of any of the bosses. Letting go of the boss was tantamount to self-mutilation. No, I don't want to try. I was wrong. I will never go against you again. I can make the entire Zhao family submit to you and help you find more people who can obtain the chaotic force. After we kill them, you will know the news of the Lord of Chaos. Zhao Hao said, but he was still wrong. Long Fei had the system. He did not care about this at all. Zhao family? I don't care. But don't worry, after you die, the Zhao and Qin families will no longer exist. I will personally send them to see you. Long Fei said as he raised the big killing weapon in his hand. God of Heaven fanatics, repeat again. Rumble, rumble, rumble. His blade flashed and cut apart the chaotic cloud. Zhao Hao's body was directly chopped into pieces and turned into ashes. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Zhao Hao. You have received 800,000 experience points. You have received 800,000 holy source points and 1 striking value point. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Chaos Armor. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the primal chaos golden lotus. The system kept prompting him, but it did not disappoint Long Fei this time. Although it was not a super boss, it still gave him 80 million experience points, which greatly increased his experience bar. Not bad this time. All the things I wanted have come out. No, there's even striking value. Long Fei was shocked and said, Ding asked player to release striking value. At this moment, the system sounded out a prompt. Release. Long Fei said, Ding, congratulations player for obtaining boss scroll +1. You have received a special reward from the system. The number of lottery draws for the items awarded has increased by 1. Ding, congratulations player on obtaining chaotic assembly. Long Fei was overjoyed. The boss's quality was +1. To be able to become a boss, it was Long Fei's favorite. Quality +1. This meant that the normal boss could be turned into a boss with a red name. A red name boss could turn into a black and bright boss. The dark light boss could even become a super boss. Awesome, this is so F***king cool. System, you're my blood brother. You can't be any more intimate. Long Fei was extremely excited and immediately thought of another chance to draw. Do you want to try again? Maybe the berserk of the system has yet to pass? Long Fei muttered in his heart. Damn it, I'll do it. If I don't do it, I might really be able to defy the heavens. Long Fei was extremely pleased with himself and directly dropped out of the system interface. Come on, system. Let me see your charm. Let's be crazy. Let me go to heaven. Lottery. Long Fei was praying in his heart as he stared at the wheel in the system's lottery. So. The roulette rapidly rotated. What proud 9 tribulation sword. What a mortal execution 4 swords. What supreme grand mist sword techniques. Finally, after 10 seconds, the wheel stopped spinning. Ding! The wheel stopped spinning, and the system beep rang. The wheel stopped spinning, and the system beep rang. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining Sky Spill Spell, Level 1. Experience leveled up 1/1000000. Heavenly Evolution Technique. Ancient World, an inheritance of the sky reaching meridian. Able to break time and space, able to use yin and yang. The prize that was drawn left Long Fei dumbstruck. Coincidence. An amazing coincidence. Now that Long Fei was worrying about something, the system immediately activated a sky spell. Before, Long Quang had already said that Yu Ro's Evolution Formation Master was from the Yintian line of descent. However, if someone were to transmit the power of their formation patterns, they would be able to give that person a chance of survival. In other words, if I cultivate this heavenly evolution technique, I will be able to draw an array pattern and let Yu Ro recover. Long Fei thought, excited. Cultivate. Long Fei immediately said. Very quickly, Long Fei felt an extremely profound power appearing in his mind. Just like the fire shadow seed from before, this power had already become a type of power system. After 3 breaths of time, Long Fei completely grasped this power. However, in order to create the formation patterns and save Yu Ro, one still needed to level up. At this moment, the Zhao family and the Qin family were already out of their minds. The 2 genius disciples died in one fell swoop. Run, run, inform me, ancestor. This is too terrifying. This power is not something that we can withstand. Inform ancestor, we must avenge the young master. Brat, just you wait. Our Zhao family will definitely not let you off. The people of Zhao and Qin families fled in a hurry. With Zhao Hao dead, their hopes ran out. The only person who had the courage to stand here was Zhao Hao. Now he could only flee. Boss, I'll go kill them. Zhang Yu propped himself up and walked to Long Fei's side. No need a bunch. Long Fei said, there is nothing more important than saving Yu Ro. As for the Zhao and Qin families, if they didn't leave, who would attract the boss? After that, Long Fei arrived in front of Yu Ro. At this moment, the runes on Yu Ro's body had already devoured all of her life force. If Long Fei's arrival didn't interrupt Zhao Hao's strength, it wouldn't be too good for Yu Ro right now. Damn it, he's actually trying to take away the power of the formation. Long Fei said fiercely. Seeing the blood that flowed down the corner of her mouth from the painful face of Uro as she closed her eyes, Long Fei's heart was filled with endless hatred. Don't worry. No matter what, I won't let anything happen to you. No one can touch my woman. Long Fei carried Uro into the room and then stuffed a medicinal pellet that contained limitless life force in her mouth, hanging onto her final breath. Zhang Yu, I'm going to go into closed-door training. No matter who it is, kill them for me, Long Fei said with red eyes. In the remaining time, he would inscribe array patterns. Now that Uro couldn't recover anymore, even refining pills that defied the will of the heavens wouldn't be able to help her recover. Right now, the only thing that could save Uro was the sky spill technique. Only through using the heavenly evolution technique and giving the power of the array patterns to Uro would it be possible to save her. The level of the heavenly evolution is too low. If I want to complete the array patterns, I must level up. Long Fei clenched his teeth and immediately entered closed-door cultivation. That strand of extremely profound heaven's birth power was mobilized by Long Fei. He performed an incantation gesture and then formed a seal. The sky spill technique was different from formation. There were many different types of formations. However, the heavenly evolution was even more powerful. Everything encompassed everything, including the universe and the cycle of the universe. Without thinking, Long Fei's hand movements became faster and faster. Boom! Asterisk ding. The drawing failed. Experience +1. Again, Long Fei simply could not give up. This was a lifeline, the only possibility to save Uro. Ding! Drawing failed. Experience +1. In the blink of an eye, Long Fei was already exhausted, and her face no longer had any color. What was expended in the Heaven's Volition technique wasn't elemental energy or energy, but pure life force. Just a bit more. Just a bit more. Long Fei looked at his experience bar. Proficiency had already reached 9,600 and was even more unwilling to give up. Ding. Player has consumed too much energy. Continuing to train may cause damage to source energy. Ding. Player has consumed too much energy. Continuing to train may cause damage to source energy. Ding. Player has consumed too much energy. Continuing to train may cause damage to source energy. The system issued a high warning with 3 sounds on its face. Long Fei muttered to himself. Who would have thought that this drawing would consume so much of his blood? Green, heal your wounds, Long Fei instructed. It had already been a day and a night, and he didn't have much time left. Uro couldn't wait any longer. Suddenly, the sky lit up, and a jade green light flashed past, covering Long Fei's body. So, Long Fei's HP had increased, but only by a few tens of thousands. Long Fei raised his spirits and once again immersed himself in inscribing the sky evolution array. Every time he drew a line, his health point would decrease rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. After Long Fei drew a few times, his health point had been completely used up. Swish! Xiao Lu operated continuously. The light of the sky splitting vine shined brilliantly, giving Long Fei a mouthful of milk in time. Long Fei continued to immerse himself without distractions, again and again. His hands never stopped moving. Ding successfully drawn. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up his sky spill spell. Current level 2. Experience 100,000/30,000. Ding! Congratulations player for obtaining beginner sky evolution skill, heaven defying spell. Whoosh! Hearing the system's notification, Long Fei's heart finally relaxed. I finally succeeded. Long Fei stood up. Even though it had only been a day and a night, he was still extremely weak to the extreme, and his health point was pitifully low. If it wasn't for Green's constant milk, it would have dried up long ago. Master, I'm going to rest first. Don't risk your life. Inside the space, little Green spoke weakly. All right, I'm fine now. I've succeeded. Long Fei said. He then walked step by step to Uro's side. He activated the heaven-defying spell. The power of the formation patterns on Yu Ro's body suddenly burst forth with a radiance that shot into the sky. As if he had seen an extremely sumptuous dinner, he exploded with a desire to devour. Long Fei was not surprised at all. His sky evolution force was the most authentic power, and Yuro was only inherited from the heaven-mending sect. Naturally, she yearned for this kind of power. Go! Long Fei lightly pressed the life recovery technique in his hand onto the rune on Yu Ro's chest, fusing the two types of power. Swish! The moment the two forces clashed, a brand new formation pattern was formed. The power of the formation patterns began to interweave, finally forming an extremely strange pattern. It collided with the sky, and finally, it slowly calmed down before entering into Yu Ro's body. Cough cough asterisk a light cough sounded as Yu Ro gradually opened her eyes. Long Fei, Yu Ro asked, her eyes filled with bewilderment. It's fine, everything is fine. Long Fei carried Yu Ro in his arms as everything went according to plan. Yu Ro did not resist either, allowing Long Fei to hug her and cry softly. Long Fei, my grandfather has died. From now on, I am alone. Yu Ro cried as she spoke. How could that be in me? I'll be your man from now on. You can depend on me from now on. Long Fei said deeply. Just as his voice fell, the system's voice sounded out. Ding! Congratulations, player, for completing the quest. Save Yu Ro. Long Fei was filled with anticipation. Long Fei was filled with anticipation. The task had finally been completed. Looking at the Yu Ro in his arms, Long Fei's heart stirred. 100 points of affability level. He might be able to unlock more postures. And with the addition of the fact that Yu Ro was an array master, he would be able to create more scenes that couldn't be instantly countered. In that instant, Long Fei felt like he was in a palace full of passion, almost to the point of death. When Yu Ro, who was in his embrace, felt the change in Long Fei's expression, her face immediately flushed red. Quest evaluation, S-Class. Ding! Congratulations, player, for gaining 100 million experience points. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining 100 points of affability level with you. Persistent, life and death. Ding! Congratulations, player has obtained special reward once. Reward item has been doubled scroll +1. When Long Fei saw another scroll fall, his heart was moved. Recently, the system seems to be biased towards scrolls. Level +1, health point +1, and the boss level. Now, another reward has been doubled. Could it be that this is the result of my recent luck? Long Fei thought. But right at this moment, Long Fei suddenly looked towards the outside of the void. The entire space was filled with killing intent. Killing intent filled the room. Needless to say, Long Fei already guessed that it was the Zhao family and Qin family. Boom! Asterisk immediately afterwards, the sound of a collision could be heard. The door was knocked down. You dare to stop me? A mere 6th level of great complete realm. With this kind of cultivation, this old man can kill a bunch with a flip of his hand. A loud roar echoed. Carrying Yu Ro, Long Fei instantly disappeared from his original position, appearing beside Zhang Yu in the blink of an eye. Boss, the area is filled with experts. There are at least dozens of experts of the 6th floor or higher. Long Quang reminded. Long Fei's heart stirred as he looked towards the sky. This was a big encirclement. Dozens of experts of the 6th level and above surrounded the area. It was obvious that they wanted to kill Long Fei. However, in Long Fei's eyes, it was a look of excitement. In his eyes, these were not enemies but benefits. That was at least billions of experience. The EXP was still quite far from leveling up. If he could make everyone stay, then leveling up would be much better. Boss, you two go first. I'll bear it, Zhang Yu said. Long Fei looked at Zhang Yu and suddenly felt a little guilty. From the very beginning, Zhang Yu had always acted as a meat shield. Zhang Yu, take the pill. This time, I want to let them know that I'm not some pushover who can pinch as he pleases. Long Fei said indifferently with excitement in his eyes. Then he took out a pill from the space and handed it to Zhang Yu. Ah, boss, you don't want alchemy, right? Zhang Yu asked with a bitter expression. TSK, TSK, TSK. If I were to refine a heaven-defying pill like the desolate heavenly lightning, then the entire Thousand Sun City would have such a great scene. Just thinking about it would be great. Long Fei said. At this time, Long Fei's heart was at ease. This was also the reason why he had let them go previously. With Zhao Hao's death and the holy artifact on him, Long Fei believed that the two families would not let this matter rest. Behind him, Yuro also knew that Long Fei had such a method up his sleeves. Long Fei took a glance and knew what Yuro was thinking. I know what you're thinking, you're just too kind. However, they're not human at all. Think about what they did to you. Think about how grandfather died. Think about it. You let them go, and then the Zhao family came knocking on our door when we were back in the city. What is good for us, I, Long Fei, will protect it with my life. The only way to harm your father is to kill him. With that said, Long Fei could not bear it anymore. He knew that letting Yuro face such a scene in a moment was a cruel thing to do. However, this was reality. He knew that Yuro wanted to be alone. But that was impossible, and if possible, Long Fei did not want to kill anyone, nor did he want to wander around either. But he thought others wouldn't allow it. Emperor Xian didn't allow it. Xian nationality didn't allow it, and even everyone in the divine space didn't allow it. Therefore, the only way to survive was to keep fighting. Yuro's expression was still heavy, but she still listened to Long Fei and spoke with a heavy tone. I know, from the moment I decided to go with you, I knew what life was going to be like. But I don't regret it. Yuro had a determined look on her face. TSK, such a pair of dog and dog lovers. Now you still have the mood to flirt around? Since you all love each other so much, this old man will send you to hell today to be a pair of lovebirds, to comfort my grandson's soul in heaven. When the Zhao family patriarch appeared from thin air, his golden body's radiance caused Long Fei's heart to palpitate. If the entirety of Thousand Sun City was considered a dungeon, then this Zhao family patriarch should be the boss behind the scenes. Haha, it really is a boss. Long Fei laughed and said, Do you know how dazzling you look like? Long Fei said, Of course. The Zhao family patriarch did not understand the meaning behind Long Fei's words, and even Zhang Yu and Yu Rou were confused. Boss, what are you talking about? Zhang Yu asked while rubbing his head. That is to say, this old thing has lived to the end. I will definitely die today. Long Fei shouted excitedly. This was his usual style. In front of the boss, don't give in, just do it. Do it to the death. Even if he had to take it out, he would kill the boss. You're courting death. Little bastard, you're merely at the second level of the ancient era's great power. With your level of cultivation, you're nothing more than an ant. You still dare to be arrogant in front of my forefather? Everyone, look, I'll finish him off. Before the Zhao family's ancestor even opened his mouth, there were already people in the crowd behind him who couldn't hold back and jumped out. Chaotic strike die. Boom. This was a person who was at the 6th level of the great complete realm. The moment he attacked, he tore apart a region of chaotic space. He took out a large blade from the darkness. The blade was hundreds of meters long, and it was accompanied by a black light as it descended. You think you're worthy enough for my boss to make a move? Mountain Mist rise. Zhang Yu had been waiting on the side for a long time. After consuming the pill, he had fully recovered. Not only that, his strength had also increased. Clang! Blades and swords clashed, sending the void shaking for hundreds of miles. Ka! Asterisk, the long saber in Zhao family's hand shattered. With just this level of ability, he dares to stand out? Your family has never taught you to keep a low profile. Being a dog and being attentive to others depended on whether one's legs were that long. Die. Zhang Yu's face was ice cold, without the slightest trace of pity. Puffed. The misty mountain sword pierced heavily into the chest of the Zhao family's elder. Instantly. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing an almighty member of the Zhao family. You have obtained 100 million experience points, 1 holy source point, and 1 striking value point. After Zhang Yu stopped moving, Long Fei heard the system's notification. Clean and easy with no other result. Clang! Zhang Yu raised his sword in front of his body. Fuck, who else? At this moment, Zhang Yu was overwhelmed with emotions. At this moment, Zhang Yu was overwhelmed with emotions. It looked like it would hit back at the Thousand Layers waves. Long Fei was slightly taken aback, looking at Zhang Yu, who was alone in the pass, his eyes filled with contempt. He originally thought that Zhang Yu was an honest person, but he didn't expect him to be one as well. Zhang Yu, get ready, I'm going to enlarge. Long Fei lightly coughed and said. He wanted to resolve the matter before him as soon as possible. Rarely made a second move when he was able to do it. Boss, wait a minute. Let me kill him once and for all. Zhang Yu said with a smile, not fully satisfied. After he finished speaking, he actually took the initiative to attack, holding his sword and rushing into the air. Come on, you bunch of trash. Do you really think that Thousand Sun City is yours? Zhao family? The Qin family? Go ahead. Die. Zhang Yu continuously provoked. Brat, you're too arrogant. Do you really think you're invincible? Your power has yet to fully awaken. You only erupt once in a while, but you still dare to take the initiative to provoke me. What's more, so what if he is the Decay Emperor? My Zhao family's chaotic force has crushed you. A person suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Supreme Elder of the Zhao family, 8 complete stages. The chaotic force awakened nearly 50% of it. He'll definitely be able to kill this kid in an instant. There are no good consequences for being arrogant. Elder Zhao, kill him. The crowd became so excited that they wished they could crush Zhang Yu to death. Zhang Yu's arrogance had assaulted their dignity as the old overlord of Qinyang City. Who can stand it? If not for the fact that Zhang Yu's display of combat strength made them afraid to go forward, they would have already attacked. Zhang Yu looked at the Zhao family elders with a ferocious expression. Not a word. He could feel the pressure. The elders of the Zhao family could suppress their cultivation, and the power of chaos that they awakened was not something that his decaying power could compare with. The chaos energy grew stronger and stronger, and a pressure that could seep into one's soul descended. Following the old man's attack, the people from the Qin family and the Zhao family started to move closer to him. Finally, Zhang Yu's face revealed the smile of a meeting. Boss, that's all I can do. Come, release your strongest power. Zhang Yu roared. In the next moment, with madness in his eyes, Zhang Yu dashed into the crowd of Zhao family members and hacked down with his sword. Crack! Like a bubble bursting, the decaying power immediately erupted and followed the mountain mist sword to be unleashed from Zhang Yu's body. Whoosh! Swish! Instantly, with Zhang Yu at the center, decaying power erupted. The members of the Zhao and Qin families were caught off guard and were decayed by a single sword strike. Damn it! The thief has already awakened. Circulate your energy to block. If we use this decaying power on one person, I'm afraid no one will be able to withstand it. But now he actually wants to catch us all in one fell swoop. What an idiot. When we expel the decaying power from your bodies, that will be the day you all die. The group of old freaks of a super perfection cursed madly. However, Zhang Yu didn't budge, as if he didn't hear anything. He himself had never been prepared to rely on himself to kill these people. He was luring the monster. Long Fei wanted to use his alchemy, and wanted to use the power of the heavenly thunder to kill them. From that moment on, Zhang Yu made up his mind. Provoke, attract attention, and then gather the people of the Zhao and Qin families together. Now, he had finally achieved his goal. Long Fei was slightly stunned. Seeing the nearly crazed Zhang Yu, his heart was moved. He didn't think that Zhang Yu actually wanted to draw aggro, so he did it. Bro, if you risk your life like this, how could I let you down? Sky-breaking pill rise. Long Fei shouted. So what if it was an unknown region of primal chaos? So what if the laws of the world forbid it? If you don't allow it, then break it. Long Fei's mind was in a frenzy, his hands constantly changing. The heaven and earth became the furnace. It was naturally fire. In an instant, it appeared in Long Fei's hands. Boom! The flames rose quickly, and in just an instant, they had formed into a wall of fire with Long Fei at the center. One after another of immortal grasses after another were crazily thrown into it by Long Fei. The power of 990 planes? Let's just blend in. Numerous dimensional energies exploded from Long Fei's body. Through his fingertips, they turned into a type of spirit grass and fused into the pale fire. The power of the devil origin, the demon origin fruit. The power of water, transform into a weak flower of water. Overlord power, transformation into an overlord vine. One after another, one after another. Boom, boom, boom. Pillfire also jumped up and down in Long Fei's hands, extremely unsteady. It was as if he couldn't withstand such a violent force and would be extinguished in the next moment. Except for me. The power of Sky Spill come out. Long Fei's eyes were filled with hysteria. This was a huge gamble. This was also the first time Long Fei tried to fuse different powers into his alchemy. Of course, this wasn't without reason. The root of this experiment lay in the heavens divination technique that he controlled. The power of the heavens' birth could be derived from the heavens, encompassing everything. If he succeeded with the heaven-breaking pill, he would be able to annihilate the Zhao and Qin powerhouses. This amount of experience was enough for him to level up. If he failed, even he himself would be turned into ashes. But to Long Fei, there was already no other choice. The people of Zhao and Qin clearly wanted him dead. He had already used the power of the god of heaven madman, making it impossible for him to use it within a short period of time. The power of the Reaper was too limited. Right now, the only power that Long Fei could use was his great killing tool. Then, he could use the limits of the chaotic heavenly emperor to refine a super large pill and let the power of the primal chaos heavenly thunder kill the enemy. Therefore, the last pill Long Fei had chosen was to refine a heaven-breaking pill to break the shackles of this land of chaos. You want to kill me? Let's see who will die in the end. Long Fei continued with the movements in his hands. Due to the continuous decrease in the sky spill power, his entire spirit was dispirited. And at the same time, what Long Fei did not know was that this time he was going crazy to the point that even the entire unknown region of primal chaos had gone completely berserk. Dark clouds covered the sky and thunder rumbled. The entire unknown region of the primordial chaos was plunged into darkness. The void, an unknown land. The powerhouse of the families in the unknown world woke up from their slumber. They looked at the chaotic land full of thunder with expressions of excitement. Even the chaos lightning exploded. Who is it? Who is it? What did he do? Could it be that the Bedlam lands is about to reopen? Movement of primal chaos. God of boundary out? Could it be that a new god of boundary is going to appear? Different voices came from different directions in the Bedlam lands. Deep within the Bedlam lands, chaos interweaved with each other. A figure slowly appeared. He stood in the middle of the chaotic world, constantly drawing lines of energy in an attempt to stop the explosion of the heavenly thunder, but it was to no avail. Impossible. I am the Lord of primal chaos. How could I possibly have the power to escape my control? Good kid, I've underestimated you. If that's the case, then let the entire Bedlam lands go berserk. In any case, the location of the god of boundary is definitely mine. The whole primal chaos plains was in an unprecedented state of upheaval. Some ancient families appeared quietly like bamboo shoots after a spring rain. The whole primal chaos plains was in an unprecedented state of upheaval. Some ancient families appeared quietly like bamboo shoots after a spring rain. Even if it was Long Fei, he would never have thought that behind his crazy alchemy this time, he would actually cause such a commotion. Thousand Sun City, Long Fei's location. Long Fei was extremely weak. Heaven's birth's power directly consumed one's health point. So even with Little Green's constant treatment, it wouldn't be able to last that long. Master, I can't take it anymore, Green said weakly. In just a short while, she had crazily healed Long Fei. She had already used a grand move of 1,000,000 HP twice, and only then was she able to last until today. Go rest. There's only one last bit of power left. You must complete it. If you want to play, then play big. Today, your father will shake the entire primal chaos. Long Fei gritted his teeth and said as he saw that he still had less than 30,000 health points. But at that moment, the system's voice sounded out. Ding! Player's health point is too low. Please provide additional information in time. Ding! Congratulations, player. Heaven's Birth, leveled up, current level 2. Experience 300/80,000. Ding! Player's current health point is insufficient to continue displaying Heaven's divination. What made Long Fei a little surprised was that after the powers of 998 realms had fused together, even the power of Sky Spill had leveled up. F***CKU system, you want to kill lousy, right? Long Fei did not have the slightest bit of happiness as he scolded loudly, because the health point required to increase the level of Sky Spill power had actually directly reached 100,000. System, use the life scroll, Long Fei said as he gnashed his teeth. At this point, the immortal's body had already run out of energy. He could either use a level scroll or a life scroll. Ding! Player uses HP scroll +1, health point vast. The system's voice sounded out. Long Fei instantly felt that his health point was perfect and all negative effects were eliminated. Level 2 Heaven's Birth power, fuse it for me. Long Fei merged the last bit of the spatial power into it. Ryu and Blell. In the blink of an eye, the pill fire was enough to burn the sky. And at the very center of the pill fire, streams of berserk energy of the plane interweaved. In the end, it formed into a mottled and protruding super pill. Violent energy exploded from this medicinal pill. That power attracted everyone's attention. What is this? Such a violent power? Could it be that it's that brat's killing move? Whatever. As long as that Zhang bastard dies, he has nothing to worry about. The people of Zhao clan would never have thought that Long Fei could use alchemy. Therefore, he was simply unable to guess Long Fei's methods. Ha ha ha, Super Dan, Super Dan. Long Fei laughed out loud. He could already sense the shaking in the entire Bedlam lands. It was as if the heavens were collapsing and the earth was cracking. A destructive force was about to erupt, drowning the pill within. Ha ha, come. Primal chaos lightning. Show your father how wild you are. Long Fei laughed out loud. Brother, you must endure it. Long Fei was sweating profusely for Zhang Yu. Zhang Yu could be said to be a born thunder-absorbing baby, more awesome than Pikachu. But the difference was this time, it was too violent. Long Fei did not dare guarantee that under this power, Zhang Yu would not meet with any mishaps. When Zhang Yu, who was in the middle of the storm, heard Long Fei's words, he turned his face and grinned. Ha! Don't worry, boss. I still want to borrow this power to go another step further. Zhang Yu said, the moment his voice fell. The skies were filled with chaos lightning. Crash! Asterisk, the entire world was submerged, turning into a sea of heavenly thunder in an instant. No matter if it was Zhang Yu or the members of the Zhao or Qin family, they were all surrounded by heavenly lightning. No, what kind of power is this? No way. Email protected @run. Run. This is the power of the annihilation of the primordial chaos. The wails resounded through the heavens and earth. However, in just a few sounds, he was already suppressed by the heavenly lightning. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the Zhao family elder. You have obtained 20,000 experience, 100,000 holy source points, and 1 striking value point. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the Qin family's elder. You have obtained 300,000 experience, 100,000 holy source points, and 1 striking value point. Ding! A string of beheading notifications popped up without anyone noticing. For the next few minutes, he didn't stop at all. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Ancient Era's 3rd level. Experience, 10,000/150000000. 000. He had leveled up. Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief. It felt great. Currently, his level was too high, making it too difficult to level up. With more than 10 billion experience points, Long Fei's heart trembled from the torture. Right now, Long Fei could only wish for the Zhao and Qin families to give him the experience. Haha, I really want to thank all of you. Long Fei laughed loudly. At this moment, the supreme Dan bead disappeared into thin air. Long Fei disapproved. This pellet was refined to attract lightning from the sky, and the explosive power of the plane under the lightning was Long Fei's initial assumption. Right now, the only thing he was worried about was Zhang Yu, who was under the effects of the heavenly thunder. Finally, after a short while, the heavenly thunder disappeared, and the unknown region of primal chaos returned to its previous calm state. Nothing had changed, as if the destruction of the world had never happened. However, the murderous aura in the entire world still showed it. There had been a violent explosion of destruction here. There was no one in the void. Long Fei's expression changed. Zhang Yu. There was no response. Suddenly, Long Fei's mind was in chaos. If leveling up would depend on the life of his brother, Long Fei would rather not have it. Zhang Yu, answer me. You promised me you would survive. Long Fei's voice was close to a roar, venting the depression in his heart. Yu Rou, who was behind him, looked at the nearly berserk Long Fei and hugged him tightly. Long Fei, don't be like this. Zhang Yu already knew that this would happen. I could sense the determination in his heart. He was determined to fight, even if it meant death. Therefore, for him, right now, it might not be a bad result. Yu Rou persuaded, hugging Long Fei tightly. Long Fei's heart was blocked. Even though he understood what Yu Rou was saying, he was still unable to calm down. Long Bat Ian, come out here. Didn't you repeatedly ask me to save Zhang Yu? Why didn't you attack just now? Didn't you say that he was the key for me to leave this land of primal chaos? Why didn't you attack? Long Fei asked. Pop! Suddenly, the dragon scale that had been silent for a long time trembled slightly. You only have this little bit of potential. Who told you he was dead? Long Batian said in disdain. Long Fei was startled, but immediately his face revealed ecstasy. He didn't die? You said Zhang Yu didn't die? Long Fei's face was full of excitement, but he did not care about Long Batian's disdain. He did not die. He bore the power of decay, and was originally only in a semi-awakened state. After being struck by the divine lightning just now, he had managed to survive. Thus, he had completely awakened and condensed the tainted seal. When he wakes up again, great Emperor Rotten will return to the world. Long Batian said, It's good that he didn't die. It's good that he didn't die. Long Fei said repeatedly. He didn't die. But do you think that you can escape from the hands of a peak stage great perfection powerhouse? Long Batian's tone was full of playfulness. Long Fei was secretly surprised. Super perfection powerhouse. Suddenly, Long Fei's heart trembled. He finally felt that something was wrong. F***, the boss isn't dead. Long Fei's eyes swept across the empty space and shook for some reason. The body of the Zhao family patriarch shone with a golden light, which instantly appeared in Long Fei's mind. His movements are as fast as a tiger's. Let's turn around and see 05. The heck, what a mistake. He didn't even use up the boss. Instantly, a sense of urgency appeared in Long Fei's heart, making him feel extremely frustrated. Just a moment ago, he was thinking of using a heaven-breaking pill to capture all of them in one fell swoop. To think that he would miss out on the most crucial one. At the same time, the primordial chaos rippled. A figure slowly emerged from the depths of the primal chaos. What ruthless methods! He actually managed to catch all of my Zhao family members in one fell swoop. Little bastard, even if the Lord of Chaos were to come today, he wouldn't be able to save you. The Zhao clan's ancestor appeared and said hatefully. At this moment, his body was also affected by the chaos lightning, and his aura was chaotic. It was obvious that he had suffered some serious injuries from the supreme damn bead just now. Long Fei looked at the Zhao ancestor, and with just a glance, he had the urge to curse at him. This was because the light of the boss on the Zhao family patriarch's body had weakened. The reason for this was obvious. It was not because the Zhao family's ancestor was injured, but because he had leveled up. But even so, Long Fei could still feel the pressure. The power of the Zhao family patriarch was very strong, stronger than even the sky sovereign Tiger Wu. After all, he was an ancestor, and he also carried the power of primal chaos with him. Master, don't act blindly without thinking. Behind this old thing, there is another person who is also at the peak of the super perfection. Long Quang said. Long Fei's heart skipped a beat as he scanned the air with his consciousness. He discovered a bit of a trace of it within the primal chaos. Another boss? Long Fei was eager to give a try. Boss, how could Long Fei let him go? F*CK, F*CK, a dead bird in the sky. If we don't kill the boss, the heavens will not allow it. Long Fei rubbed his fists together as a powerful killing weapon appeared in his hand. After leveling up just now, all skills have been refreshed. Even Empyrean gods could use it once more. In addition to the +1 level and the +1 life, +1 scroll, he would at most be able to use his trump card and get rid of the two of them. But at this moment, Long Lin suddenly trembled as he remembered, and Long Baishan's voice appeared as well. Brat, I advise you to leave this place quickly. Do you think there are only these two? Your divine space's enemies have also arrived. Long Batian acted as if it had nothing to do with him, as if he was deliberately being pressured by Long Fei. And after that sentence, he disappeared. This time, Long Fei was completely dumbfounded. If it were two bosses, Long Fei could still fight them head-on. But unexpectedly, the person being chased down by the divine space suddenly rushed over it this time. That's not right. Grandfather once said that even the Emperor Xian would not be able to easily find any traces of me in this primal chaos unknown land. Could all the families of the divine space be so powerful, with some kind of secret method? Looks like I'll have to retreat first. Long Fei was extremely dissatisfied in his heart. Facing the boss and not being able to kill, it was like having a peerless beauty in the room that one couldn't touch. Grasping his heart and scratching his lungs. The pain was unbearable. F*CK. This feeling is too unbearable. One day, I will blast all of you to pieces. Long Fei thought. But now, Long Fei did not want to continue either. After the last massacre on the divine space, those who were able to enter this unknown land were probably all experts. Otherwise, Long Batian would not warn him. Thinking of this, Long Fei decided to leave. Euro, I'll lure them away later. You can leave first. Long Fei said. These people were after him. If he followed them, he would be in danger. As long as he could attract the gazes of these people, he would be able to safely leave this place. No, I won't go. How can you face so many people? From the moment you saved me, I was already yours. Even if I die, I want to die together with you. Euro shook his head and refused. Don't worry, I will be fine. I haven't settled such a weak girl like you. How can I bear to die? Long Fei grinned. Euro's face turned red, but then he shook his head. Long Fei's face darkened, but just as she was about to speak, she felt a killing intent lock on her. Little bastard, do you still want to escape? Too late. You killed my grandson, you killed the people from my Zhao clan, and you still want to escape? Impossible. Today, the patriarch will pull out your tendons and skin, as well as your woman. The patriarch will ravage her in front of your eyes. Ha ha, if you kill my grandson, then let your woman live. The old ancestor of the Zhao family almost went crazy. A huge wave of chaos spread through the 9 heavens. Whoosh, chaotic chaos. Endless amounts of chaos energy were drawn out from all directions and gathered in the hands of the Zhao family's ancestor. Ignorant child, do you really think that the primal chaos lightning can injure me? Our Zhao family follows the teachings of the celestial emperor of primal chaos. Patriarch, I've already awakened 80% of my power of primordial chaos, so even the power of chaos lightning is nothing compared to you. To be able to die under the power of my primordial chaos, you will still be honored to die. Killing intent appeared in the eyes of the Zhao family's ancestor as he unleashed a sky-shattering, chaotic force. A palm fell. It was not fancy, it was just a light palm. But with one palm, chaotic force turned into numerous frenzied blades. In the next moment, a violent burst of power erupted. The space split apart as the sky shattered. 10,000 li of mountains and rivers collapsed at this moment, and the entire thousand-sun city began to rumble. Below, Long Fei's great killing weapon turned into a huge barrier, blocking his front like an iron wall. But even so, he could still feel that his internal organs were starting to be dislocated under the penetrating power. Streams of fresh blood seeped out from the corners of Long Fei's mouth. Pain, an indescribable pain. His soul was tearing, and even his meridians seemed like they were about to be torn open. It was as if he was facing the suppression of the entire world. How is it, little bastard? Awesome. Keep moving. Aren't you very arrogant? Your alchemy? Use the law of the primal chaos to annihilate my Zhao family? Continue. The ancestor of the Zhao family continued to use his power, and the light of chaos spread out for thousands of miles. Don't worry, I will take good care of your woman for you. In the future, he will be a tool for our Zhao family to reproduce. No matter how many you kill in the Zhao family, how many Zhao family disciples will come after her. Ha ha ha, little bastard, this old man will make you die with regrets. Voices sounded, full of mockery. The anger in Long Fei's heart soared. He hated being threatened with his own woman the most. F***CK. Old thing, do you think I'm a sick cat if I don't show off? Long Fei glared and summoned the god's pavilion. Find a fast leader of the plane and bring Euro away. Long Fei instructed. Soon a figure arrived. Just as the Lord wanted to kneel down and worship, he was interrupted by Long Fei. Don't waste your breath. Protect my woman, or else I won't forgive you. Long Fei said. The planar emperor didn't dare to delay any longer. He turned around, picked up Euro, and disappeared from where he stood with a swoosh. When the two of them had completely disappeared, Long Fei glared at them in fury and endured the immense pressure as he looked into the sky. Old thing, it's you now. If I don't play you to death, I won't be called Long Fei. He was the only one with him. If there was nothing to hold him back, then he would have to let go. He was the only one with him. If there was nothing to hold him back, then he would have to let go. The great killing weapon immediately deformed. With a thought, Long Fei immediately turned into a wide blade. Sovereign Big Butcher. Old thing, prepare to die. Long Fei's palm strike had a terrifyingly gloomy look in his eyes. Bastard, you still dare to attack? I really don't know who gave you the courage. The Zhao family ancestor looked down on Long Fei and did not put him in his eyes at all. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. That palm that was filled with chaotic energy finally descended at this moment and smashed towards Long Fei. The entirety of Thousand Sun City had been destroyed. However, to Long Fei, it didn't affect him at all. In the entire Thousand Sun City, other than Yuro and Zhangyu, everyone else was hostile towards him. What did life or death have to do with him? Immediately after, upon this palm strike, Long Fei felt all the pores on his body explode, and a sense of danger spread throughout his entire body. But the power of the Zhao family patriarch also appeared in Long Fei's mind. With a total of 200 million blood essence stones, he only had 130 million blood essence stones left. It could be seen that the explosion of the chaotic heavenly lightning and the power of the plane had caused damage to him as well. Right now, I can only find an opportunity to reduce his HP to less than half. The God of Heaven is truly relying on you. Long Fei thought and responded at the same time. Empyrean God Madman, lock onto him. With that thought in mind, Long Fei sprinted towards the Zhao family patriarch. Ding! Detected level difference too big. God's berserk attack is invalid. Long Fei's figure instantly froze in midair. This reminder was fatal. F***CK, my lord. Don't let me off at such a critical moment. I only want half of my blood and half of my blood. What's the meaning of giving me an invalid now? Long Fei was speechless. He had the urge to smash his head into a wall and die. Ding! Detected power that can help God level up. Do you want to devour? At this moment, the system suddenly issued out a prompt. Long Fei's eyes lit up without any hesitation. Devour. Ding! The power of the plane has been devoted. Ding! Decaying power has been consumed. Ding! The heavenly strength has been devoured. Ding! The power of primal chaos has been devoured. The system beep kept on appearing, and Long Fei also felt that all the energy of the dimensional realm that the system had previously released had been sucked out of his body. In addition, one of the powers on the jade pendant that his grandfather had given him had been devoured, along with the power on the Chaos Golden Lotus. Furthermore, a ray of light also flashed past the dragon's scale and was devoured. Long Fei muttered to himself and guessed that the power should be the corrupt seal that Zhang Yu had condensed. Following that, Long Fei fixed his gaze on the jade pendant, and all of the divine light on the jade pendant suddenly dimmed a little. Ding leveled up. God of Heaven Madman, Super God level. Description: locked absolute kill skill can be executed 9 times in a row. Damage increases by 10% every time. Description: an ultimate technique of a transcendent divine might, able to kill existences beyond the 15th rank of the host. Long Fei was already dumbstruck. Seeing the heavenly god's madness that had leveled up, all the worry in his heart disappeared without a trace. He had previously thought that the Chaos Jade Butterfly was extraordinary, afraid that its power would be affected after it was devoured. However, when he saw the leveled-up heavenly god Kuang, Long Fei felt that it could only be described with one word. Heaven-defying. It was truly heaven-defying. Haha, Super Paragon. In the future, if you act arrogantly in front of this father, then you will die. Old thing, let's see how you die this time. God of Heaven fanatics, lock on. Long Fei looked up and looked at the proud face of the Zhao family patriarch who was acting as his sole patriarch, and said in his heart, Ding locked. Ding locked. Kill. Long Fei suddenly struck out with his blade, causing a wild backlash from Tian Shan as he slashed across the huge palm of primal chaos. Boom! Asterisk the chaotic gigantic palm immediately cracked, splitting into 2 from the middle. The 5 fingers were cut off by Long Fei at the same time. Chaotic power that filled the sky scattered and floated in the air, as if it wanted to turn the world into chaos. The first saber strike had broken through the primal chaos, slicing apart the Zhao clan patriarch's 10 million blood. In the air, the expression of the Zhao family's ancestor changed. The smile on his face was still there, but it had already frozen. His entire appearance was extremely comical, from arrogance to fear. Impossible. This is impossible. With trash like you, how could you possibly burst forth with such power? How could my chaotic force possibly be destroyed? I don't believe it. Again, chaotic crush. This time, the ancestor of the Zhao family didn't act carelessly. He jumped out of the primal chaos. His hands moved, and endless chaos energy gathered. With him at the center, a vortex of primordial chaos appeared. Kid, go die. No one can resist my chaos vortex. The ancestor of the Zhao clan stood in the center of the vortex, speaking with a vicious voice. Long Fei held onto his big blade, his expression unchanging. With regards to the system, Long Fei trusted it greatly. The power of an Empyrean god madman was absolute. So what if he was at the peak of perfection? 1 cut won't do. I still have 7 more. Let's see how many blades you can take. Long Fei flipped his hand, using the power of a crazy god once again. Ding, lock target. Swish. The saber light shone upon the primordial chaos, causing the vortex to shatter. Crash. Asterisk 1 vortex after another began to collapse. Only the Zhao family patriarch remained, his disheveled and dazed expression. How is this possible? The Zhao family patriarch was completely stupefied, and his entire body's vital energy and blood were surging. This one slash had crippled him once again to 2 million blood. In my world, there is no impossibility. Do you want to kill me? Threatening your father? After you touch my reverse scale, even if God himself comes, he won't be able to save you. Third slash chop. Long Fei said fiercely. With that said, the blade light floated down, and the bloodline above the head of the Zhao family ancestor instantly floated red. Another 3 million blood. This series of numbers caused Long Fei to be startled. And then he died. Originally, if not for the Zhao family ancestor trying to force him, Long Fei would not have thought of going head-on against him. Because in this space, other than him, there were many other unknown enemies. However, the Zhao family patriarch was too dangerous. He even threatened Yu Rou, which made Long Fei unable to endure it any longer. Swish. Boom. No. I can give you the inheritance of the Chaos Emperor. The Primal Chaos Emperor is a person who has existed for even longer than the Decay Emperor. It is a secret that concerns the entire Primal Chaos unknown. Let me go. As long as you let me go, I will tell you everything that you want to know. Also, I know that you can activate the power of the Infernal Prison. I can use the power of chaos to cover them up and make them acknowledge you. The Zhao family patriarch continued. This third cut gave him the feeling that he was about to die. He didn't dare to take it head-on and directly beg for mercy. Long Fei was slightly taken aback, but his hands did not stop moving. Are you begging for mercy now? F*CKU. Where did you go when you threatened Lousy? The Chaos Emperor? Your father needs your help? Can't I explode? Long Fei sneered in his heart. He had the system. As long as the system was here, what could run away? As long as I kill you, I can obtain even more. Now go to hell. Long Fei took a step forward, staring coldly at the Zhao family patriarch. He excitedly laughed. After all, the Zhao family's ancestor was also a boss. Long Fei had already accumulated his striking value and was already prepared for it. As long as he could kill the Zhao family's ancestor, all of this would be his. Thinking about that, Long Fei immediately unleashed his fourth blade. When the blade came out, there was only the light of the blade in the air, only killing intent. This was the power of a heavenly god maniac. The power of an Empyrean god madman was to kill with a lock on his target. If the second slash didn't die, the damage from the second slash would increase exponentially until the target died. Now that he had unleashed the fourth slash, the power was terrifying to the extreme. Even if the Zhao family's elder was stronger than the Sky Sovereign, he was still a little bit stronger. But in Long Fei's eyes, he was already a dead man. The fourth blade strike landed on the Zhao family patriarch's body. With a single slash, the life of the Zhao family's patriarch was unknown. F*CK, 40 million HP. System, don't you have to be so awesome? When Long Fei saw that the body of the Zhao clan patriarch only had 30 million HP, he became excited. How is it? Why are you shouting? Aren't you going to kill me? Come on. Long Fei arrived with a set of Dragon Blade S and looked down at the world with disdain. At this moment, even the Qin clan ancestor was silent as he quietly retreated a distance away. Don't kill me. I can help you block the Qin family's people. The strength of the Qin family's ancestor is not something you can imagine. You also need the existence in the sky. I can block them for you. As long as you don't kill me, I'll be your dog from now on. I'll bite whoever you tell me to. The Zhao family's ancestor fell into the earth, crazily begging for mercy. In the face of life and death, whatever dignity or inheritances were all fake. As long as he could survive, even if he had to personally annihilate the Zhao family, he wouldn't hesitate at all, let alone beg for mercy. But unfortunately, Long Fei was not moved at all. So what? I can kill you? You're still afraid of him? Long Fei said with disdain. For the boss to survive. That was suicide. It did not exist. You can't kill me. If you kill me, the entire Bedlam lands will reject you. From now on, you will bear the curse of the primal chaos and attract countless pursuers. The Zhao family patriarch continued to speak. Rejection. Chase him down? Long Fei paused for a moment, his heart restless. All right, I'll take on as many as I can, no matter how many there are. Long Fei said angrily. Along the way, it was basically all over the world. How difficult was it to open up a path of survival? Hence, it was good that the patriarch of the Zhao family did not say that. But the moment he opened his mouth, the anger in Long Fei's heart immediately flared up. As long as they dare to come, this father will make the whole land of chaos his enemy. What can I do? Die! God of heaven, berserk, behead! Long Fei roared and locked onto the Zhao family patriarch. With the fifth blade, the patriarch of the Zhao clan would definitely die. This blade strike would result in the eruption of 50 million blood. With the amount of blood left in the Zhao family patriarch's body, there was no other possibility but death. Long Fei watched on coldly, waiting for the blade to strike. Enough, stop! But at this moment, a will descended from the sky. Time and space seemed to have stopped at this moment. A gaze roamed about from the void, penetrated through endless primal chaos, and landed on Long Fei. In an instant, Long Fei became alert, as if his soul had been seen through and he was naked in front of his opponent. This power! Long Fei was shocked. This power was too terrifying. He was actually able to forcibly block the power of an Empyrean god madman. This also meant that the person who'd attacked had absolutely surpassed him by 15 levels. In other words, he was already above the Paragon level. Long Fei stood in his original position, not even daring to touch the power of the system, for fear that his secret would be discovered by the other party. But luckily, the dragon scale that had been quiet for a long time actually released a ray of bloodlight at this moment, tightly wrapping Long Fei's sea of consciousness. After a long while, the gaze finally shifted away. The primal chaos will activate, and the battle of the god of boundary will begin in the unknown lands. For all eternity, this will be the time when the entire world breaks free from its bindings and reappears in the glory of the ancient times. Right now, I have already opened the inheritance of the 13 emperors in the primal chaos grounds. Anyone who obtains the inheritance can enter the primal chaos mountain. Long Fei, you can participate in killing Zhao Hao and taking his place to become the son of the primal chaos. The voice said lightly, the Lord of Primordial Chaos. The Lord of Primordial Chaos. Ha! The Lord of Primordial Chaos has finally appeared. I knew it. As the descendant of the Chaos Emperor, the Lord of Chaos definitely wouldn't sit idly by and do nothing. Brat, how arrogant. Didn't you want to kill me? Come on. The expression on the face of the Zhao family patriarch changed instantly, and all the bitterness from before disappeared in an instant. In its place was boundless arrogance, as if he had predicted that as long as the Lord of Primal Chaos appears, Long Fei would be helpless to do anything. The Lord of Primordial Chaos. Long Fei was astonished in his heart. He had never expected that the Lord of Primal Chaos would appear at such a time. Ding! Trigger mission. Obtain the inheritance of the 13 emperors of Primal Chaos. Obtain the qualification to fight in the God of Boundary. Time of mission, 10 years. Mission level, SSS. Task reward, level +3. Optional skill level +1. Special system reward once. Mission failed. Die. What made Long Fei even more surprised was that he had actually left the system for a quest. Level +3, skills +1, and there's even a system reward? Long Fei was extremely astonished in his heart. Needless to say, just the 3S rank mission was already shocking Long Fei. From the moment they entered the divine space, the S-level quest was already impressive. Right now, it could be said that this was definitely the first time the 3S's had been used. Plus, the reward from a system. This made Long Fei drool even more. Level +3. In addition to my level scroll, once I complete the quest, I will be able to directly level up to the peak of the ancient powers. If I kill the helicopter boss, I might even be able to level up to the super perfection stage. Long Fei looked forward to it in his heart. Except, Long Fei said, a mission that was completely impossible to reject, and it sounded like there would be a connection between the Battle of the God of Boundary and the moment Long Batian left the Primal Chaos grounds. Even more so, Long Fei wouldn't refuse. After that, Long Fei retracted his thoughts and looked at the Zhao family patriarch coldly. Kid, I told you earlier that you wouldn't be able to kill me. Now that the will of the Lord of Primordial Chaos has descended, who would dare disobey? Trash, just you wait. When I open the legacy of the great emperor, I will hunt you down endlessly in the future. I won't rest until I die. The Zhao family's ancestor was extremely proud. He was extremely excited, and he was even on the verge of death. But Long Fei's face became darker and darker. The will of the Lord of Primal Chaos descended, causing Long Fei to be unable to determine his position. He was considering whether to kill or not. But now, Long Fei's concern was gone. Fuck you. Who cares who you are? Long Fei's heart trembled. In the next moment, with a blade in hand, Long Fei crossed the distance of 1,000 meters with a single step and arrived in front of the Zhao family patriarch. I don't dare to kill you. Do you think the Lord of Chaos will alone can save you? I said that even if the Emperor himself came, no one would be able to save you. You think I can't kill you just because the Lord of Chaos blocked my long blade? Reaper, 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 kill. Long Fei said coldly, I have a lot of instant kill skills. As the sound of his voice faded, the entire space turned dark. A black shadow appeared out of nowhere, and with a wave of the sickle in his hand, it beheaded the head of the Zhao family's ancestor. The system sounded out. Ding! The system's notification sound rang out. The system's notification sound rang out. If he didn't die, he wouldn't even exist. Even if the will of the Lord of Primordial Chaos descended upon them, it would still be able to block out the power of the Empyrean gods. However, Long Fei still had the Death Reaper, and with the Zhao family patriarch's less than 30 million blood, it was simply impossible for him to hold on. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the Zhao family patriarch. You have obtained 100 million experience points, 100 million holy source points, and 1 striking value point. Ding! Congratulations player on obtaining Heart of Chaos. Ding! Congratulations player for obtaining the title Son of Chaos. The system's voice came to an abrupt end. Gone. Long Fei was startled. What did the ancestor of the Zhao family say about the Chaos Emperor's inheritance? Could it be a Heart of Chaos? Striking value release. Long Fei took the initiative to choose. Although the level of the Zhao family's ancestor had already been demoted, accumulating striking value was already a piece of cake for him. Ding! Player releases striking value. Ding! Congratulations player for obtaining skill. Hand of Chaos. Ding! Congratulations player for obtaining skill +1. Ding! Chaotic Hand has met the requirements to level up. Devour Heart of Chaos. Skill +1. Current level, level 2. Long Fei was in a mess. The anticipation on his face had turned into bitterness. System, is there something wrong? If I go berserk, you're going to give me a skill? Also, give me a skill upgrade? What does automatic leveling mean? Can you give me a little choice? Long Fei expressed his indignation, feeling that the system had already stripped him of his human rights. In the next moment, Long Fei looked at the skill. Skill, Hand of Chaos, attributes, suppression, 100% chance of capture. Description, ancient strong condensation, source unknown, use unknown. After looking at the attributes, Long Fei finally felt a sense of balance. Not to mention anything else, just a 100% capture was enough to make Long Fei pleasantly surprised. Capture him 100%? Would it evolve into a 100% chance of receiving a white blade empty-handed? It's simply a must to kill people for their goods. Long Fei thought. At the same time, he looked towards the name of the primal chaos sun that the system had explosively called, but when Long Fei lightly touched it, he felt as if there was an indescribable power of attribute on his body. At the same time, Long Fei felt that he seemed to have some sort of connection with this primal chaos grounds. It was as if he was already above the life forms in the Bedlam lands to a certain extent. But at this moment, a killing intent abruptly descended on his soul. Puff! Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood, instantly retracting his thoughts and looking at the sky. The source of this killing intent was the will of the Lord of Chaos. I've already said that this matter ends here. You dare to resist? His voice was furious, his words following the law. In an instant, Long she felt that his hand of chaos was about to move, almost struggling out of the control of the system and moving through the glass in his body. The Lord of primordial chaos. Long Fei's heart was filled with hatred. However, in the face of such power, there was no way to resist. Just a thought would be enough to kill Long Fei. This was a complete suppression. He felt as if all the bones in his body were shattering under this interrogation. A kind of heart-wrenching pain lingered in his heart. It was like thunder striking against bones. Crack, crack, crack. His eyes were like a blade, causing real harm. Long Fei felt as though his bones were being cut. The pain was unbearable. But even so, Long Fei still clenched his teeth and persisted. He looked resolutely at the sky and said with a deep voice, "My reverse scale, whoever touches it dies." Long Fei raised his head, and each word came to a halt. So what if he was the Lord of Chaos? A dragon has a reverse scale. Touch it, and you will die. This is the only time. There won't be a next time. Also, you all, Long Fei is now the son of the primal chaos. If you want to kill him, you can only choose from the qualifications to do so. 3 months later, in the Heavenly Empire, the qualification station will be opened. If you do not participate, it will be considered as giving up. Anyone who gives up will die. The will of the Lord of Chaos, he said in a cold voice. After he had finished, the whole world suddenly became clear again. Long Fei's body loosened, and the pressure on his body immediately disappeared. Long Quang, have you left? Long Fei asked. Before, when the system went berserk for a moment, it did not feel like anything was amiss. Only then did Long Fei dare to call out to Dragon Quang. The master has already disappeared. Even the other peak of the great complete realm's powerhouse has retreated. Long Quang said. Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief. Where are the people from the divine space? Long Fei added. Even if the old monsters from the Qin clan left, there were still enemies of the divine space surrounding this place. Long Fei did not dare to be careless. After being warned by the Lord of Chaos, he left with that person. Long Quang also said with a relaxed expression, "TSK, TSK. It seems like the Lord of Chaos is truly powerful to the point of exploding. A group of people at the peak of perfection actually submitted to just one will. How strong is he himself?" Long Fei's heart was moved. He had a feeling that once the will of the Lord of all fiends descended, it wouldn't be so simple. As for the God of Boundary qualification battle, to Long Fei, it was also a conspiracy. Thus, Long Fei was somewhat curious about the Lord of all fiends. I don't know, but I'm sure he's the strongest person in this entire primal chaos. Long Quang said. Long Fei was startled, but immediately changed his name. What about compared to Emperor Xian? Master, my knowledge of these existences is still lacking. However, it would also be extremely easy for Emperor Xian to kill people at the peak of the super-perfection stage. Long Quang said with slight worry. Still too weak. However, there will be a day when I will break through this chaotic land. Whether it's the Lord of Primal Chaos or the Emperor Xian, I will crush them all with my bare feet. Long Fei said with a resolute expression. 3 months, Sky Empire? All right, for Lousy, this is a chance to level up. We can't let him go. God's Pavilion, since you rose position. Long Fei swallowed a mouthful of medicinal pellet, recuperated, and instructed. Before the battle, Long Fei asked the God's Pavilion to send out the Lord of the Plain to take Uro away. Now, through the God's Pavilion, he could naturally sense them. Master, I was just about to tell you that the aura of the Planar Emperor has disappeared. The God's Pavilion said. Instantly, Long Fei's head drooped. A vicious feeling grew in his heart. Disappeared? Is he dead, or is he too far away? Long Fei suppressed the anger in his heart and said, He isn't dead. The Lord of the Plain walked out of the God's Pavilion. If he died, I would have sensed his presence. Maybe it was because it was too far away, or maybe it was covered up by the powerhouse. As for the specifics, I can't really tell. God's pavilion did not dare to hide a single thing from Long Fei. It's best if it's the former. Otherwise, I will let the entire unknown land die with me. Long Fei clenched his fists and swore in his heart. Then, Long Fei made Little Flower use her abilities to sense the surrounding area and search for the location of the Sky Empire. At the same time, in an unknown region of the primal chaos. Good boy, you really do have a big secret on you. Even the people from the divine space chased after you. Long Batian, is this what you meant by following behind you? Inside the primal chaos cloud, the primal chaos lord's eyes shined with a sharp light as he muttered to himself. 3 days later, Long Fei traversed 100,000 mountains and entered the 10,000-kilometer forest. 3 days later, Long Fei traversed 100,000 mountains and entered the 10,000-kilometer forest. At this time, Long Fei was completely focused. Wherever he went, he didn't leave even chickens or dogs. However, his level was already too high, and these existences were not even enough for him. The heck? After 3 days and 3 nights of killing, the total amount of experience left was less than 1,000,000. System, did you make a mistake? Long Fei leaned against a big tree, lazily roasting a demon wolf that he had just killed. Long Fei had thought that he would be able to accumulate some experience by barging into the thousandly forest. But he was wrong. The tyranny of the system was completely beyond his imagination. A demon beast that was comparable to an ancient almighty being in the 6th level only gave him 5 points of experience. Therefore, even if Long Fei were to fight crazily for the past 3 days, he would only be able to accumulate over 1,000,000 experience. However, Long Fei also knew that because of the madness of the God of Heaven, the system had strict rules on his leveling. Originally, based on the previous ratio, even if it were a monster of the same level, it would still give a few hundred experience points. But now it was only at a few points or even several levels higher, so it was only given a little. These few days, Long Fei had already gotten used to it. But what truly made Long Fei depressed was that after walking for 3 days and 3 nights, Long Fei's hands had gone numb from the slaughter, and he still had not found a way out. Not lost. It was as if the forest had no end. Thinking up to here, Long Fei couldn't help but ask, "Little Flower, are you sure your senses weren't wrong? Why have you still not found the way out after walking for so long?" Right now, in these 100,000 mountains and 10,000 li of forest, it was already considered as a dead end for Long Fei. When the Flower Fairy unleashed his power, he could immediately sense a radius of 5,000 kilometers around him. "Master, it shouldn't be wrong. My perception hasn't gone wrong. It's just that I felt as if I had fallen into a trance. I walked back and forth for 1,000,000 miles. It's as if we were moving, and the whole jungle was moving too," the Flower Fairy said in an aggrieved tone. Long Fei was startled and immediately stood up. Obscure? Could someone have set up a formation here? Long Fei calmed his mind and used his innate ability to sense the situation. Very quickly, Long Fei's face became pale white. The health point continued to descend. "F***, I got disconnected." Long Fei roared and forcefully tore away the sky spill power. Hoo-hoo! In Long Fei's eyes, there was a tinge of caution as he took deep breaths. In that moment, just now, it was as if his heaven's birth had touched some sort of force, as if he had fallen for a beautiful woman and entangled himself within her. If he did not forcefully break it off, his health point might have been emptied. Even the energy of the sky spill has been swallowed up. What exactly is here? Long Fei looked around, trying to find the answer to the mystery behind it. "Master, this place is too strange. We should still be careful," Long Quang reminded. "I know. Did you sense something?" Long Fei asked. "No, this is just a completely confused place. I can't feel anything, and other than the aura of the demon beast, there's nothing else," Long Quang said, and then there was no other sound. Long Fei frowned. He only had 3 months, so he had to appear inside the Sky Empire. Because the task reward of the system, to him, was a temptation that could not be rejected. He had originally thought that he would be able to easily make it through the 10,000-kilometer forest. Unexpectedly, the boat failed. In 3 days' time, he actually fell into a formation. No, we absolutely cannot sit still and wait for death. No matter what formation it is, it must have an eye. Long Fei stood up and searched around, not wanting to waste even a moment. What he didn't know was that right now, within a pavilion, less than 5,000 kilometers away from the jungle, a white-clothed man was currently drinking wine and looking at the copper mirror in his hand. Young master, my Yintian bloodline has this holy artifact. Wouldn't it be possible for us to construct a massive, illusory world with a flip of our hand? When that time comes, the son of primal chaos and the ruler of the wind and clouds are all idiots. A servant on the side flattered crazily. You're right. However, although my sky spill mirror is powerful, it still has some flaws. I simply can't find the spirit of the sky spill that the ancestors spoke of. The man said, Young master, there's no need to be so discouraged. With your temperament, as long as that spirit of the sky reaching realm appears, you will definitely bow down to him. The servant said, you're right. However, the spirit of the sky spill is more important now. When that time comes, as long as I take away his power, I will definitely be able to take a step forward. As the man spoke, his eyes flashed with a sinister light. What about now? Should the mirror world be withdrawn? The servant beside him knew that the man was about to leave. Who cares? Anyways, if you were to fall into my world, there is no way you would be able to survive. With that, the man turned around and left. The scene turned back. Long Fei stood in the middle of the forest. The wind sounded and the birds flew. Everything whistled past Long Fei's perception. But Long Fei did not move. He finally sensed the problem. F***, it's fake. Everything is fake. Long Fei was furious. He had already felt that from the moment he had entered the forest earlier, he had entered a gigantic world of illusions. Other than the experience gained from killing the demon beast, even the food that the devil ate was fake. Moreover, it wasn't some natural formation. It was a power that someone hiddenly laid. Mother Kerr, don't let Lousy know who did this. Otherwise, I'll definitely create a yellow world for you to soak in for 7 days and 7 nights. Long Fei was a little angry. As he thought about what he had eaten these past few days, he felt a chill down his spine. Heaven's birth power, condense. Long Fei shouted. He already understood that this was an illusory world, one level higher than a formation. And to some extent, this was similar to his own bloodline of the Heavenly Dipper. That was the reason why he had been swallowed up when he had used his own power to probe. But now, Long Fei could already feel that the devouring energy had disappeared. Boom! In a moment of carelessness, streams of sky spill power interweaved in Long Fei's hands, before finally condensing into a single point. Break for me. After a series of rumbling sounds, Long Fei only felt light in front of him, and finally returned to the forest. Whoosh! Mama, we're finally out. The first thing Long Fei did was check himself. He discovered that there was nothing abnormal about his body. It was only because there was an aura similar to the power of Sky Spill that he was slightly relieved. The power of the Sky Spill? Could it be the Yoshin faction? Long Fei pondered for a moment, then suddenly woke up, thinking to the current competition for the God of Boundary, the so-called inheritance of the 13 emperors. Could it be that the Yintian meridian wasn't severed and was instead hidden? Long Fei's eyes moved, and a look of pleasant surprise appeared in his eyes. Long Fei sped along the road. With the help of the flower fairy, there were basically no obstructions. Long Fei sped along the road. With the help of the flower fairy, there were basically no obstructions. In less than a day, he had truly reached the edge. And this was even happening under a situation of Long Fei frantically killing everyone. Otherwise, it wouldn't even take 2 hours. Ding! Congratulations on killing the primal chaos devil tiger. You have obtained 10,000 experience points, 100 holy source points, and 1 striking value point. The last giant beast fell in front of Long Fei, and they could already see the end of the forest. after a certain distance, they would be able to leave the 10,000-kilometer forest. At this time, Long Fei could already see some figures moving about. And Long Fei could even feel that the moment he appeared, everyone's gazes were fixated on his body. Child? Why are there so many children here? Long Fei calmed the excitement in his heart as he walked out of the forest and looked into the distance. At this time, the children were also staring at Long Fei. Big brother, did you come out of the forest? Suddenly, a little girl dressed in rags walked in front of Long Fei, one step at a time. Long Fei was startled and looked at him in disbelief. This was a mortal without any cultivation. It wasn't just the little girl. The other children were the same. Yes, I came out from inside. Why are you guys here? Long Fei said with a chuckle. Then, big brother, tell me, is there a hempen-clothed ant in the forest? Uncle Taoist said that as long as our clothes are fine, we won't have to die. The little girl said with a look of anticipation. Die? Long Fei was startled. From the god's martial continent until now, Long Fei was already numb to life and death. Long Fei knew that he was not a man with a heart of steel, but his hands were already drenched in blood. But now, after hearing the little girl speak like this, he felt his heart ache violently. He could see the thirst for life in the girl's eyes. But why die? Then, Long Fei bent over and hugged the little girl. There's nothing here except the demon beastess. Of course, there are not many demon beasts left now. Long Fei said, there was definitely something unexpected involved with this group of children. Originally, Long Fei only wanted to hurry over. But now he had to stop. Otherwise, he would hate himself and forget his original intentions. Nope, it seems like Uncle Taoist is also deceiving us. I knew it, there's no nanny. Sob, 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 sob. As the little girl spoke, she started crying bitterly. Her sad expression made Long Fei feel pity in his heart. Why? There is no sackcloth, Grandma. We are all going to die. I knew it. That stinking Taoist priest was lying to us. He didn't even have a nanny. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I want to go back and find my mother. Mother, where are you? The moment the little girl cried, the group of children lost all hope and began to cry. Long Fei's scalp went slightly numb, and a killing intent vaguely appeared in his heart. They were just a bunch of children, yet they had only just come into contact with the light of life. Who could be so cruel as to want their lives? Master, this group of children has been marked. The more they mourned, the more they yearned for life, the more obvious the power of the mark became. I feel that I'm on the verge of being triggered. Long Quang's voice suddenly sounded, and Long Fei's gaze was also fixed on Yi Yu's body, as he discovered that a fire-colored pattern was flickering on her forehead. Suddenly, a stiff figure slowly walked in from outside the forest. Long Fei's eyes instantly turned cold. He could feel that the marks on the bodies of the maidservants and children were coming off. Furthermore, this person was wearing a Taoist robe. It was obvious that he was the Taoist that Yi Yu was referring to. The Taoist man's eyes were filled with desire as he walked towards Yi Yu step by step. As for Long Fei, he chose to ignore him. Yaya, did you find Grandma me? The Taoist priest said. Taoist uncle, I couldn't find my mother-in-law, but could you not let me die? I want to live, I want to find my mother, I want to find my family. Although he was twitching, he still mustered up his courage and said, Yeah, Uncle can give you a chance to look for Grandma me, but you didn't find it. If you didn't find it, then you would die. Look, it's not that Uncle wants you dead. It's that Grandma me doesn't want to save you. Come to Uncle. Uncle will teach you to see your mother and family in your dreams. The Taoist man was tempting. Even though he spoke very plainly, his tone was still filled with endless greed and killing intent. Boom! As the Taoist's voice faded, the imprint on Yi Yu's forehead completely exploded, and a wave of will to die also emerged within her body. Its idea seeking death, or rather, it could be said that she had given up any hope of surviving. Right, that's right. Come to Uncle. The Taoist continued. But right at that moment, Long Fei made his move. Long Fei reached out and pulled her into his embrace. I've seen shameless people, but I've never seen someone as shameless as you. If you don't F asterisk king go and fight with a monk over a nun and bring harm to a child, Lord Buddha will definitely be furious. Long Fei said coldly. The smile on the Taoist's face slowly faded as he looked at Long Fei coldly. Where did this brat come from? How dare he spoil this great Tao Lord's plans? The Taoist stood up and looked at Long Fei with killing intent. Bastard, your Taoist robes can't even cover up your ugly soul. Long Fei took a step forward, protecting the group of children behind him. You're courting death. When I take care of them, you will be dead. The Taoist man's hand flickered as the mark on his forehead flashed. Come here, quickly come here, Eerie, quickly come here. Your souls will return. Uncle will bring you home. The old Taoist gave up on Long Fei and continued his technique. And under his words, yeah, and the other kids uncontrollably walked out one step at a time. Damn, come back. Long Fei used all his strength to drag her, but what happened was even more terrifying. Even though he had grabbed her, her soul still walked out. Master, this group of children are the sacrifices that this person has cultivated. As long as this child has a new life or death will, he will have control over them. Long Quang reminded, don't talk rubbish. Tell me what I can do to save them. Long Fei's eyes turned red as he asked. There's no other way than to find that so-called hempen-clothed grandma and let this group of children have the thought of surviving. Otherwise, even if you kill the old Taoist, it will be useless. Long Quang said. Long Fei's eyes were filled with anxiety. He knew clearly in his heart that there was no sackcloth grandma in this boundless forest. Even if you don't have one, I will make one for you. God's pavilion, come out to me as the master of the female plane. Long Fei instructed. Long Fei's mind sank into the God's pavilion. My greets master. Very quickly, a master of the realm appeared. He looked to be extremely old, which was exactly what Long Fei was thinking. What made Long Fei even more surprised was that it was actually called Mai Yi. The crying continued. The crying continued. Yiya and the group of children's souls were out of control as they walked out of their bodies while wailing. Yes, that's it. Come. The Tao Lord will bring you back to your homeland. A bean-green glow flashed in the Taoist man's eyes as he greedily killed. It was as if the souls of these children were, in his eyes, a feast for the eyes. Yeah, Grandma Mi is here. Long Fei shouted loudly, and as his voice fell, the master of the realm slowly walked out of his sackcloth. Her steps were very slow, unhurried, and graceful. There was even sunlight that fell from the sky. Hoo-hoo! The wind was swaying, leaves were falling, and grass and trees were growing. Long Fei was dumbstruck. He just wanted the hemp garment to descend into the forest and come out. However, she didn't expect that hempen-clothed would be so flamboyant. This was a woman who brought her own BGM. In an instant, Long Fei felt that posturing had no realms. A silent posturing was the most fatal. It seems like I'm still a pure Shao by dish on the road to acting cool. Long Fei thought in his heart and felt quite helpless. It was at this moment. The Taoist raised his head and looked at Long Fei and hempen-clothed man who had walked out of the forest with an ice-cold expression. Of course, there were also a group of soul-bound children who also turned around. Hempen-clothed. To them, these two words were the hope for survival. In a split second, Yiya waited for the child's soul to stop at every minute, exuding the desire to live, and began to walk back. No, that's impossible. There is no hempen clothing in this world. He's not. Yai, come back here for me. The Taoist man's face suddenly turned malevolent. He raised these children up until now for the sake of harvesting their souls. It was about to succeed, but unfortunately, he was messed up by Long Fei. Long Fei did not care about him at all, as he continued to drag Yiya's soul back into his body. Instantly, the mark on his forehead vanished, and Yiya and the others finally woke up. Grandma Mai, it really is Grandma Mi. We don't need to die. Great, we don't have to die. There really is a hempen-clothed grandma. Taoist uncle, we don't need to die. Abruptly, the spirits returned to their bodies. The minds of Yiya and the others recovered completely as they looked at the linen robe before them in pleasant surprise. No, that's impossible. Who are you? The Taoist said indignantly. Long Fei disapproved and placed Yi and the others behind Ma Yi. At this moment, the linen robe appeared, and the will to survive was released. The imprint was erased, and all ties with the Taoist were severed. Now, everything was out of the Taoist's control. Then Long Fei wouldn't care about anything. Who am I? I'm the one who wants your life. I don't care if you kill me, but if you take my soul, I won't allow you to die. Long Fei said coldly. The heavens cannot tolerate this. Ha ha, little brat. You are already at the brink of death. Do you still not know? You dare to provoke the matters of the Longevity Palace? You will definitely die. Young Master Changsheng is already the master of life bestowed by the Lord of Primal Chaos, and he will compete for the qualifications to the God of Boundary. You dog, you've ruined the great affair of Master Longevity. Your 9 lives are not even enough for you to die. The Taoist man's eyes were filled with killing intent as he spoke viciously. He hated that he couldn't kill Long Fei right now. He had nurtured these souls for a long time. Now that they were about to reap their rewards, all of their efforts were for naught, and all of these were bestowed by Long Fei to their deaths. Longevity Palace? God of Boundaries qualification? Long Fei's eyes moved. He really did get what he wanted. Right now, he wanted to know how to get to the Sky Empire. Coincidentally, the Longevity Palace was a very good choice. Are you afraid? Kid, kneel down and beg for mercy. Help me harvest their souls. Who knows, maybe I will spare your pathetic life. Seeing Long Fei hesitate, the Taoist became even more pleased. Then, he shifted his gaze to the hemp garment. As for this person, he probably has quite a deep relationship with you. He is going to die, and only if he dies will the will of these children be born. Kid, if you want to live, then kill him. The Taoist man said with a mocking expression, but before he could finish his sentence, his vision went black as a black shadow swept over his face. Boom! Asterisk. How stupid are you to kill your ancestors, old dog? Long Fei punched out, directly knocking the Taoist over. The Taoist cultivation was only at the 2nd level of the ancient realm, 1 level lower than Long Fei. Could not withstand Long Fei's power at all. Even if it was the most ordinary punch, it wasn't something that could be blocked. Under the punch, everyone's face swelled up, and their facial features were twisted and entangled together. Brat, you... Boom. Asterisk. F asterisk CKU. This isn't the first time you've done this, right? I've lost a lot of souls, but this is the first time I've killed someone like you. What can the Longevity Palace do? The Lord of Life? Is it that amazing? Your father is still the son of Primal Chaos? Long Fei punched out again. Stop. Stop. Stop hitting me. If you continue, I will die. Once I die, Master Longevity will know what happened here, and then you won't be able to escape either. The Taoist began to beg for mercy. Long Fei was completely unmoved. Boom. Asterisk, this punch is for the souls you killed. Boom. 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 These 3 punches are for lousy. Long Fei said without holding back. One punch was heavier than another. Wait, I don't seem to have done anything to you. The Taoist suppressed the pain and lowered his head to the dust. You scared lousy when you wore that Taoist robe. Long Fei said softly. Boom. Asterisk, this punch is for the Longevity Palace. Boom. Asterisk Long Fei said every single punch he threw out. In the end, when he really had nothing else to say, he just punched directly. The Taoist man was no longer a human. He was curled up on the ground. Furthermore, Yi and the others already knew that the Taoist man wanted to kill them all. Even though they were afraid, no one pleaded for mercy. After venting his anger, the anger in Long Fei's heart gradually disappeared. Scram, go back and tell your master that one day your father will kill him. Long Fei said. Killing such a person was completely useless to Long Fei. Long Fei was too lazy to do anything. Moreover, Long Fei needed the Taoist to lead the way. Not mentioning that the Longevity Palace was a type of inheritance, it was one of the participants in the qualification battles. Just by the way the other party was cultivating, it was impossible for Long Fei to let go. Ding! Congratulations, player, on triggering task. Annihilate Longevity Palace. Mission level, a time, half a month, task reward, 1 divine body fruit. At this moment, a system notification rang out. Long Fei was a little dumbfounded. His main motive was to seize the qualifications to participate in the God of Boundary S. But now, another mission had appeared to destroy the Longevity Palace. I wonder if I can create another one after seizing their inheritance? If that's the case, then it would be awesome if my subordinates could gather over a dozen of the Emperor's legacy. Long Fei's eyes shone as he thought. Do it. Long Fei was extremely generous. He always knew in his heart that he had to face the Emperor Xian, so accumulating his foundation was extremely important. Long Fei turned around and looked at Yiya. At this time, their souls had returned to their bodies. The mark had disappeared, and they had regained their freedom. But at this moment, the leader of the group suddenly fell to the ground. The mark that had disappeared on his forehead is becoming more and more obvious. Master, not good. Someone is forcefully harvesting it. Hempen-clothed man said in shock. The mark exploded. The mark exploded. Terrifying energy appeared out of nowhere one after another. It was extremely strange as it controlled Yai and the others. In the next moment, the soul actually escaped the body uncontrollably. Long Fei was secretly anxious, but he did not know how he should attack. Just then, a voice came from afar. You dog! You actually dare to touch someone from my Longevity Palace. This old man wants to see who gave you the guts to do so. Long Fei looked over with cold eyes and was immediately certain that it was someone from the Longevity Palace. That was because the Taoist who had spoken just now was standing behind him. Brat, today I want you dead. This is our Longevity Palace's eldest grandson, Elder Lu Rong. You're dead today, the Taoist man said with a vicious expression. Then he turned to his grandson, Lu Rong, and a look of grievance appeared on his face. Elder Zhang's son, it's him. I already succeeded in the beginning, but it was all because of him. You still dare to hit me? I don't have the face to see anyone anymore. Elder Zhang's son, you have to help me. The Taoist man covered his face and leaned on the elder's back like a spoiled child. Long Fei's eyeballs fell to the ground. He couldn't believe that the Taoist in front of him was the one he had beaten up, if not for the same bruises on his face. Long Fei didn't even dare believe that they were the same person. F***CK. You hid your strength so well. I thought you just didn't want to light up the green lotus, but now it seems that you came down carrying it on your back. So F***King Heavy Taste. I really should have killed you with a punch just now, so that you wouldn't feel disgusted with me now. Long Fei said with disgust. However, Long Fei did not say a word, and the rage on the Longevity Palace elder who was brought over by the Taoist became even wilder. Bastard, you truly do not know your place. At the third level of the ancient era's great power, you are only bullying my paths. In front of this old man, you are not even a fart. And you want to save these children? This old man won't let you do as you wish. If you want to save them, this old man will let them die. The eldest grandson, Lu Rong, had a vicious look in his eyes as he drew a mark in his hand. As soon as the mark was formed, it erupted with a devouring force. The struggling expressions of Yiya and the other children became more and more serious. However, they were only mortals. How could they be a match for the eldest grandson, Lu Rong? The soul could not withstand the devouring force and left the body. Long Fei's face turned cold. Old thing, stop. Long Fei immediately made his move with his big killing weapon. Without any hesitation, he swung his pole down. You overestimate yourself. You are merely at the third level of the ancient almighty. Even if I stand still, you will not be able to harm me. The eldest grandson, Lu Rong, was dismissive. Rumble. However, in the next moment, the power of the killing weapon exploded and endless killing intent burst forth. The eldest grandson, Lu Rong's expression changed drastically. Brat, the eldest grandson, Lu Rong, retreated abruptly. But even so, he was still hit by the great killing weapon, heavily smashing into his back. With a swing of the staff, the ground collapsed into a 100-meter deep pit. The back of the eldest grandson, Lu Rong, was hollowed out, blood and flesh all over the ground. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing an elder of Longevity Palace. You have obtained 100,000 experience, 1,000 holy source points, and 1 striking value point. Dead. Just 1 hit. The heck? Did you think that I would be that awesome? Isn't it longevity? Lu Rong, I think you're too stubborn. You ate deer antlers, right? Long Fei said. The eldest grandson, Lu Rong, was smashed to death by Long Fei's rod strike. The Taoist man and the other disciples of the Longevity Palace behind him were already dumbstruck, not daring to believe what they had just witnessed. Dead. The elder is dead. How is this possible? It must be an illusion. The elder must not have died. I don't believe that elder will be fine. The Longevity Palace disciple said in panic, his face a mask of panic. However, after waiting for a long time and seeing no response from the deep pit, the crowd had no choice but to believe it. The eldest grandson, Lu Rong, their elder, was already dead. The Taoist man's eyes instantly turned red and rushed over without caring for his life. Bastard, I'll kill you. Long Fei's eyes turned cold, and he sneered, "Ha, so deep in love. Then I'll send you all to hell so that he won't have to eat too much. There's nowhere to put him." Boom! Long Fei swung his staff backwards. The Taoist was swept into a deep pit and died there. However, there was no response from the system at all. If one's level was not higher than Long Fei's, killing him would be a waste of time, and the system would not give him any experience. As for the remaining disciples of the Longevity Palace, Long Fei didn't do anything. Like the Taoist, they were mostly at the 3rd level of the 2nd or 3rd level of the ancient power. It would be a waste to kill them. He now had a mission to destroy the Longevity Palace. When the time came, he would have a clean and crisp meal. So. All of a sudden, the disciples of Longevity Palace turned around and ran away, not even daring to utter a single word. When everyone had disappeared, Long Fei returned to the side of Ma Yi. At this moment, his face was extremely pale. Your power? Long Fei was a little confused. From the beginning to the end, the Lord of the Hempcloths hadn't made a move. But now, her aura was extremely weak, as if her soul had been hollowed out. Master, I will be suppressed by them. That kind of power is too overbearing and can reverse yin and yang. I'm afraid that even my power cannot be suppressed for too long. The linen robe explained. Reverse yin and yang? Is it that magical? But how can you be so familiar with this power? Long Fei asked. It must be understood that the sovereigns of different planes all came from different planes. Could it be? Was the plane where the hemp robe was located also at such a level of power? Master, actually, this Longevity Palace is my husband's rule. Your husband? Long Fei was suspicious. Master, my husband is the founder of the Longevity Palace, the immortal emperor. The linen robe spoke again. Long Fei stared blankly at her, exclaimed, and said, "Damn, great Emperor Changsheng, the fortress." Long Fei was worrying about being too confused about this unknown land, and Wai Yu Ro was nowhere to be seen. To think that he had an antique by his side. Yes, that's Emperor Longevity. However, the current Longevity Palace has completely ran in the opposite direction. The power you use is all the demonic arts that my husband despised all those years ago. The linen robe man said, "So you're saying this so-called Sir Longevity did not receive the inheritance? Just to make up for it?" Hearing Mai Yi say that, Long Fei guessed it. "I don't know, that year," Hempen Clothes said, but he did not finish his sentence. His face was slightly flushed, and he did not know what to say anymore. Long Fei was a little speechless. This unexplainable sense of familiarity made Long Fei think of the great clan elder of the lower plane of the fox race back then. She was obviously already in her late years, yet she still had to show that she was a young girl. It means the heart can't take it. Isn't he your husband? How could you not know? Long Fei asked, changing the topic. not waiting for Ma E to continue talking. That was just my husband in my heart. Back then, he had already fallen before I could confess. The linen robe man said. Long Fei. Long Fei was unable to keep up with his pace. This kind of coquettish maneuver exceeded Long Fei's knowledge. He simply could not imagine how the hemp garment could be replaced with reality from fantasy. Before he had even confessed, he had already said that the other party was her husband. He simply could not imagine how the hemp garment could be replaced with reality from a fantasy. Before he had even confessed, he had already said that the other party was her husband. After thinking about it, Long Fei still did not speak. At this time, the linen robe became a little stiff and stopped looking at her. This kind of power is completely different from the Emperor of Longevity. Great Emperor Changsheng, through life and death, through reincarnation, has emerged again and again from the cycle of reincarnation and has truly achieved longevity. However, this kind of power can only increase one's lifespan by adding more souls. It's basically an evil art. Mai said bitterly. He felt that great Emperor Changsheng's Tao had been tainted. Long Fei nodded and asked, Okay, but the question now is, how do we save them? I don't know, but I feel that the Longevity Palace should have the power we need. Mai shook his head as he spoke. After Long Fei heard this, he muttered to himself for a moment and made his decision. Good, since that's the case, then let's go up to the Longevity Palace and take it head on. In any case, the journey to the Longevity Palace was already a must, and brute force was only one method. Boss, actually saving them isn't that hard. Just acquire the power of longevity, and that will do. At this moment, a voice sounded. Long Fei's body trembled. His face was immediately filled with excitement. Zhang Yu, you're awake? Long Fei said. A few days had passed since the previous battle, and at that time, Long Batian said that Zhang Yu was not dead, but had turned into a rotten seal. Boss, I've regained my will. However, if I want to regain my will, I'll need some time. Zhang Yu said, It's good that you've awakened, but what was the power of longevity you mentioned just now? Long Fei slightly paused for a while and said, Within the space, the cracking seal suddenly jumped and then released a trace of power. Boss, this is the power that I absorbed after you killed the Longevity Palace Elder. It was only through the stimulation of this power that I regained consciousness. Furthermore, I can feel that this power can also wake up this group of children. Zhang Yu said, All right, then let's go to the Longevity Palace and take care of him. Long Fei's eyes flashed as he said arrogantly. 3 days later, the Longevity Mountain, the mountain peaks overlapping each other. After walking out of the forest, Long Fei had the Flower Fairy cast a spell to sense the area within 1,000,000 kilometers. Longevity Mountain? What a great reputation. Could it be that you can't even live forever on this mountain? Long Fei said in his heart, Master, this mountain is filled with a strong life force. Grass, wood, insect, beasts, they all have a strong life force. Some already have a lifespan of hundreds of thousands of years. Flower Fairy replied from within the space. Millions of years? Didn't that mean he has already King become a spirit? Long Fei was startled. After he finished speaking, he felt that this Longevity Mountain was a little exaggerated. He didn't expect that Flower Fairy's words would immediately perk Long Fei's spirits. Zhang Yu, do you think the power of these plants can help you recover? Long Fei asked. A spirit grass plant that had lived for hundreds of thousands of years could already be considered a divine medicine. Using this kind of spirit medicine alchemy, Long Fei was confident that he could increase the effect to the extreme. Boss, these things are useless. They have nothing to show for them. They must be alive now, and they are only affected by the special power of this place. As long as the power of longevity disappears, they will wither. Zhang Yu said. Long Fei's face darkened. Long Fei naturally knew of Zhang Yu's words. Hundreds of thousands of years. There were too many variables. The blue sea and the blue sky. The revolving star passage technique had probably already changed a few times. It was even possible for the Longevity Mountain to sink down to the ground and emerge again, not to mention these spiritual medicines. Looks like this longevity palace really has quite a few secrets. Hemp and clothed, can you feel the inheritance of the longevity emperor in the longevity palace? Long Fei asked as he looked at Ma Yi. Right now, Hempsy was following beside Long Fei, carrying Yai on his back. Behind him were a few other planar lords. The same was true for them. They bitterly toiled on, not daring to complain. Master, it's been too long. Furthermore, right now, the longevity palace is filled with the power of the soul and has already drowned out the true power of immortality. I can't feel any power of longevity. As the linen robe spoke the truth, the anger on his face became more apparent. Apparently, he was thinking of his husband who had yet to pass through the door. Long Fei immediately shut his mouth. In case he said more, he would make the sackcloth go berserk. Following that, Long Fei continued to move forward. This longevity mountain had a special restriction in power, making it impossible to fly. Only by walking step by step would he be safe and sound. Otherwise, the life force within his body would be devoured. On the other hand, Long Fei was fine. He had the system, Little Green, which could recover immediately. However, my E and the others were different. There were also a few others. They were simply mortals who could not endure such torture. 6 hours later, they finally reached the peak of the mountain. But seeing the scene in front of him, Long Fei's face immediately revealed dense killing intent. Withered bones, the entire mountain was filled with dried bones. Fuck you. Longevity Mountain is simply a deathland. Long Fei's heart was filled with hostility. He could almost hear his soul wailing in the wind. This was the place where the corpse of the Longevity Palace was thrown away. Moreover, his bones were like mountains. There were hundreds of thousands of them. From this, it could be seen how many mortals the Longevity Palace had killed before this. In fact, it might even be a child the size of a maidservant. Longevity Palace. If I don't explode with you, I won't be surnamed Long today. Long Fei gasped for breath, suppressing the killing intent in his heart. He walked forward, and at this moment, a strange scene occurred. Wherever Long Fei passed by, all the bones would immediately vanish into thin air. It was as if they didn't exist at all, disappearing in an instant. Immediately after, Long Fei felt as if a heavy burden had inexplicably appeared on his body. It was as if he was being held down by something. Long Fei stopped to carefully sense the surroundings, but he was unable to do so in the slightest. At this moment, the linen robe suddenly put the F** king B** tch down. Master this. Long Fei turned around and looked at the shocked face of the hemp garment. Just as he was about to ask, he suddenly felt that the bones above the ground had disappeared one by one, as if they had been annihilated by the wind. But Long Fei could clearly feel that all of the energy had already entered Yai's body. This was an irreversible process. Even if Long Fei wanted to stop it, it would be too late. After 3 breaths, all the bones in the mountain disappeared. At this moment, Yi's eyes unnaturally jumped. Hey, are you okay? Long Fei went closer and asked, but there was no reaction at all. His eyelids drooped heavily as he fell into a coma once more. Long Fei's head sank. Master, Yai is fine. I can feel that Yai's body is filled with the desire to survive. It must have been the will of the original owners of the bones, left behind by the dead. The linen robe spoke with a pleasant surprise on his face. Is that so? Don't worry. I will definitely let you live. Long Fei said calmly. But at this moment, a ladder descended from the sky with a loud bang. Live? None of you will survive today. You killed a person from my Longevity Palace, and now you still dare to take the initiative to visit my doorstep. I really don't know how the word death is written. An old man walked down an illusory ladder that merged with the clouds. Long Fei did not say a word. Without saying a word, a killing weapon appeared in his hand and changed into a blade. Then he waved it. Long Fei's eyes shone with a cold light. The killing intent around him became even colder, and without any emotion he shouted, "First kill!" Long Fei had already been corroded by the killing intent. Long Fei had already been corroded by the killing intent. The actions of the Longevity Palace gave rise to the thought of slaughter in Long Fei's heart. The bones were all shouting, and their hearts were filled with unwillingness. Although it had already disappeared, the bastard who carried their desire to live was constantly reminding Long Fei. He had to avenge them. Kill. The heaven-revolving killing weapon in Long Fei's hand turned into a giant rod and directly smashed into the cloud with a loud bang. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The ladder was instantly broken apart by Long Fei's pole. So. Figures descended from the sky one by one. Their cultivation bases were all around the 7th level of the ancient supreme realm. How dare you? What bastard dare to behave so atrociously in my Longevity Palace? What about the bones? Could it be that they are here for the corpses? Since this is the case, we must not let him leave this place alive. Otherwise, the reputation that our Longevity Palace has held for tens of thousands of years will be ruined. Kill him. The people from the Longevity Palace suddenly felt murderous. The scene before their eyes touched their sensitive nerves. In front of the world, the Longevity Palace was a sacred place, but in reality, only they knew in their hearts that this was a demon den. Every single one of them could not cultivate without their souls. Only by devouring a living soul could one turn another's lifespan into one's own, thereby achieving longevity. But now, such an ugly side of her was actually known by Long Fei. It was as if they were using a camera to record the most beautiful women in the world, but were suddenly dispelled by someone, revealing their ugliest looks. They would never tolerate such a thing. But when she looked at Long Fei, her expression was cold. He had no intention of letting any of these people go, because from the voices in the air, Long Fei knew that all of them were using this method to cultivate. In that case, go to hell. Long Fei waved the staff in his hand like a blade. Swish, 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 swish. The saber light flashed by and immediately turned blood red. With a single slash, he had killed dozens of people. Ding, 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 ding. The system rang out continuously. These people all had cultivation bases of the 7th level of the ancient power. Although it did not give Long Fei much experience, it was fortunate that the system did not deduct any problems this time. Who the hell is he? Can anyone tell me what happened? No, run. We're no match for him. The disciples of the Longevity Palace were instantly dumbfounded. Although their cultivations were not weak, they were still intimidated by Long Fei. Who the hell is this? Didn't they say that he was only at the 3rd stage of the ancient realm? How can it be so powerful? Who was it that lied to us? Didn't they say they had a root in their hands? Damn it, don't let me know who it is. Your father, will swallow his soul alive. For a time, the disciples of the Longevity Palace were in complete chaos. Longevity. They had long since been brainwashed by longevity, and now facing death, they had already lost their courage. And Long Fei's expression did not change in the slightest. He swung out with his saber again. Boom, boom, crack, 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 whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Blood flowed everywhere, and large amounts of blood fell from the sky, staining the ground and turning the sky blood red. Under this saber strike, countless Longevity Palace disciples had died. There were only a few who were uninjured because they were too far away. However, even if he wasn't injured, his face was still pale. Long Fei's strength caused extreme fear in their hearts. Long Fei held his big blade and walked over. Don't come over, don't come over. You demon, run, quickly find an elder. Yes, he is a demon. We must kill him and get the elders to come over. When the elder arrives, even if you have 3 heads and 6 arms, you will still die without a doubt. The few remaining Longevity Palace disciples began to run away frantically, threatening him with their mouths. Demon? Even in the evil demons, I'm not even half as good as you. Since you all say that I am a demon, then today I shall use your blood to fulfill the wish of my demon. The killing intent in Long Fei's eyes was like a blade, piercing right through the heaven-smiting devil slayer. Swish! Immediately, the blood light erupted. With a simple flash of killing intent, he had killed those people. Just like that, hundreds of Longevity Palace disciples had fallen, leaving not even their corpses behind. The place where the corpses were thrown had completely turned into a river of blood, and dark red blood floated on the ground. Sigh. Asterisk at this moment. Another cloud ladder descended from the Longevity Palace. Soon after, a few white-robed elders walked out. Not bad. Finally, a few decent ones came out. Longface said coldly. The cultivation base of these people were not bad. They were already at the 3rd or 4th level of the super great complete realm. Who are you? Who is it? My Longevity Palace has no grudges or grievances with you. Why must we be ruthless next time? The old man in the lead said. His killing intent was dense. Without enmity? So what's the enmity between these kids and you? What did they do wrong? Long Fei raised his head and asked. This bunch of ants. An ant doesn't know its destiny. It is also their fortune to be able to become our power. Right? And you, at most, are just a slightly stronger ant. As an ant, I don't even know myself. Do you really think that ants can overturn the heavens? A few of them spoke up with cold smiles on their faces. In regards to Long Fei's words, he did not put her in his eyes at all and treated her as a joke. You mean because you're strong, they deserve to die? The anger in Long Fei's heart rose rapidly, scurrying around his limbs and bones. In fact, he could even feel that the great killing weapon, the one in his hand, was flickering with a fierce light. His killing intent had already surged to its limits. This was not the first time he heard this. This was the case for Xian nationality back then. They believed themselves to be high and mighty, and that all living beings were like grass in the grass. Life and death were all on their minds. And now, it was the same for the people from the Longevity Palace. But unfortunately, this was what Long Fei hated the most. You're right. Weakness is the greatest sin. Since they have committed a crime, we will naturally accept them on behalf of the heavens. Trash simply doesn't have the right to speak. Their existence is a type of sin. And you, another trash, also died. Do you think killing a few disciples of my Longevity Palace is so awesome? As long as we act, we can kill you. Trash, today is the day you die. Several Longevity Palace elders spoke up one after another. In their eyes, these people had no human rights at all. However, they did not notice that the fury on Long Fei's face had become even stronger without them saying a word. At the end, Long Fei's eyes were completely red. Since that's the case, then go and die. A great killing weapon of the circulatory cycle revolution. Kill for me. Long Fei soared into the sky, picked up green onions from the dry land, flew out a few thousand meters, and then chopped down with his blade. Rumble. The ladder exploded once more. The elder in the lead took the brunt of the attack. Just as he reacted, he raised his head and saw a bunch of saber lights descending. He was directly beheaded. Now, tell Lousy who is the F** king trash. Long Fei coldly said from above, like a god of death. The world was silent. The wilderness was silent. The world was silent. The wilderness was silent. There was not the slightest sound from the entire Longevity Mountain. With one slash, Long Fei seemed to have cut through space, causing everyone's gaze to freeze on him. Say it. Who's the F** king trash now? Weak is a crime? You deserve to die for being weak? I'm asking you, who gave you the qualifications? I thought I was on top. Why aren't you beeping anymore? Long Fei asked word by word. Brat, you're dead for sure. Do you know what you're doing? You are provoking the dignity of my Longevity Palace. You actually dare to kill an elder of my Longevity Palace? Even if the Lord of Chaos came, he wouldn't be able to save you. Humph, kid, just you wait. The powerhouse S of our Longevity Palace will descend, and you will undoubtedly die. A few elders of the Longevity Palace said weakly. They were no longer talking like this. Long Fei was being too tyrannical, carrying the azure sky behind him. It was like a mortal being judged for his sins. Longevity Palace? Haha, are you that awesome? This daddy wants to overturn the Longevity Palace. Enough of your rubbish. Just now, you said that being weak is a sin, so being weak deserves death. Then right now, your father is stronger than all of you. So, all of you King go to hell. With that said, the blade in Long Fei's hand descended once again. Boom! Boom. The long blade formed by the great killing weapon of the cycle came slashing down with a loud bang. In the instant that he slashed out, the entire sky changed colors. The endless power of longevity was submerged and the sky was covered. What replaced it were patches of blood red. It was a space filled with endless killing intent. And on Long Fei's body, it was filled with killing intent as streams of blood-colored energy condensed into armor. Ding! Absolute Slaughter Domain has been opened. All attacks from a main character increase damage by 100%. Duration, 10 minutes. With the appearance of this domain, the system beeped. Long Fei was startled, but immediately became ecstatic. Slaughter Domain. This was a passive skill of the heaven-revolving, murderous weapon. After killing enough of them, it would be able to condense. Previously, Long Fei thought that he had already formed it to perfection and wanted to take the initiative to use it, but in the end, he didn't expect it to be a passive skill. But that was it. Long Fei was also extremely excited. He could feel that even his blood was burning with killing intent. The absolute power of slaughter surged within his palm. This is a true killing tool of the circulatory cycle revolution. Fuck, the damage doubled. It's a pity that there's no boss. Long Fei felt that it was a pity. In this domain, he was basically invincible. Long Fei could feel that he could now kill everything in the ancient realm with his bare hands. Even a paragon wouldn't be able to withstand a single punch. What is this? If I can't break through, how can I? How can I be locked up? No, that's impossible. This is our longevity palace. How could there be a restriction? The voices of doubt, shock, and horror filled the air. They were dumbfounded. They no longer had the courage to fight when Long Fei started the fight. Even though she said those harsh words, she only wanted to escape and made Long Fei worry. But who would have thought? Not only did Long Fei not stop, he even turned around and cut off their retreat path. Kid, are you really going to fight to the death? Yes, if you let us go, you still have a way out. Otherwise, when the palace lord of our longevity palace arrives, you'll die a graveless death. If you're smart and remove the ban now, we can pretend that nothing happened. A few longevity palace elders said with sullen faces. Long Fei was all smiles. However, under the endless killing intent, his smile was extremely strange. It was like the final glance of a reaper. Unravel it, as if nothing happened. Did you King get kicked in the head by a donkey? Do I pretend like nothing happened? Those people whose souls you brutally devoured, can they pretend nothing happened? Longevity Palace. Your father will turn him into a palace of the dead today. Long Fei laughed in sorrow. Indeed, right now, Long Fei's heart was indeed very angry, and his heart was pained for these mortals who had been slaughtered by the Longevity Palace. Therefore, Long Fei bore their hatred. He had to create a karma. Boom! In the slaughter space, Long Fei's blade descended. The killing intent that filled the sky gathered together, transforming into bloody sabers one after another. So. Blade lights scurried everywhere, and blood splattered everywhere. Pa. The sound of heads dropping to the ground sounded out one by one. Corpses fell from the roof one by one. The entire Longevity Mountain had become a purgatory. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing an elder of Longevity Palace. You have obtained 160 million experience points, 10,000 holy source points, and 1 striking value point. Ding! After a few consecutive sounds, all the elders of the Longevity Palace had already died. Ding! Congratulations, player, on obtaining 6 paths of longevity. Ding! The power of longevity has been devoured. 6 elders, 6 streams of the power of longevity. However, it was quickly swallowed by the corrupt seal. Long Fei did not mind. After all, to him, Zhang Yu is not someone who could be compared to such a power. Moreover, There were a lot of people in the Palace of Longevity. Long Fei wasn't afraid that he wouldn't have more of the power of longevity. At this time, Ma Yi and the other realm lords were also looking at Long Fei with a face full of worship, thinking about how he still wanted to fight Long Fei in the Abyss Demon Palace. He felt a chill down his spine. Master is so powerful. Of course, once those old monsters have been revived and follow the Master, we must overturn this land of chaos. I can't wait to see my Master look down on the world. A few old monsters had excitement in their eyes as they chatted. But Long Fei did not care, because at this moment, the ladders on Longevity Mountain began to move again. However, the cloud ladder this time was clearly much higher. Even the clouds and the primordial chaos automatically moved aside, revealing the hidden space within it. A ladder leading to the sky appeared. At the end of the ladder was a huge palace. Longevity Palace. He's finally appeared. Long Fei's eyes moved. With the spatial domain of mass slaughter, he stepped onto the ladder. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Suddenly, the cloud ladder began to change. One chain after another shot out from the middle. What a wild thief, daring to behave so atrociously in my Longevity Palace. Today, the Japanese palace will capture you and let you know the consequences of provoking my Longevity Palace. On the cloud ladder, a figure walked out from the front of the Longevity Palace. Suddenly, a ray of light was released. Boss. Long Fei was overjoyed, but in an instant, the pleasant surprise disappeared without a trace. It's not the boss, it's the fucking power of longevity. So violent. Is he, after all, the Grand Shrine's palace master? But he's not a boss. It's a pity. Long Fei thought. However, this surging power of longevity still moved Long Fei's heart. Such pure energy should be enough for Zhang Yu to be clear-headed. Moreover, perhaps the injuries of Iya and the others could also be healed by this power. Surround him. Boss, go kill him. Within the space, Zhang Yu's voice was filled with desire. Too dazzling. Too dazzling. It was so dazzling that Long Fei couldn't help but want to rush forward and surround him. This was even without the boss's light. The pure power of longevity had already moved Long Fei's heart. At the same time, the other party's situation had already appeared in front of Long Fei. Supreme Paragon Level 8, 80 million HP. However, there was one thing that surprised Long Fei. After 80 million blood, there was actually a series of questions. This made Long Fei a little confused in his heart. 80 million is 80 million. What the hell is this question mark? Long Fei coldly snorted. With a move of his great killing weapon, the slaughter domain came crashing down. Teaser. Kill. Kill equals 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 kill. In an instant, the cloud stairway of life collapsed once again, disintegrated by the raging killing intent. It fell down bit by bit. The entire MT. He was now cut off from the rest of the mountain. Hemplin and the rest watched as Long Fei controlled the slaughter domain in the air. His eyes gleamed. However, they knew that what they needed to do now was protect the child in their hands. As for Palace Master Changsheng, he was simply not Long Fei's match. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Suddenly, a series of explosions could be heard. Long Fei's slaughter domain was too strong. When he released his killing intent, more than half of the Longevity Palace was destroyed. Dog, you are truly courting death. Palace Master Longevity's face darkened, and the aura around his body became even more berserk. Then, the Longevity Palace took the initiative. He reached into the slaughter domain with one hand. He thought it was just a trick. Trash. Today, the Japanese palace will let you know that in front of absolute strength, all methods are unnecessary. In this world, only strength is the only way. The Palace Master of Longevity Palace was domineering and decisive. With a disdainful look, he extended his hand into the slaughter domain. In fact, there was even a hint of malevolence in his eyes. In his eyes, Long Fei was simply too weak to withstand a single blow. A difference of over 10 levels was simply an insurmountable obstacle. Just a single move, and Long Fei would definitely die. At this time, Long Fei had a face full of ridicule. Let's see how amazing you are. You actually dared to enter with your bare hands. This hand is also full of sin. In that case, don't take this hand. Just cripple it. Long Fei bellowed, the killing intent in his eyes exploding. Crack, crack, crack. Within the slaughter space, an endless amount of killing intent exploded. They began to confuse each other. After that, it was like a crazy meat grinder. He had directly thrown Palace Master Longevity's hand into it. Instantly, flesh and blood splattered everywhere and was shattered into pieces by his feet. My hand. The expression on Palace Master Longevity's face suddenly changed, and the savage look disappeared without a trace, superseded by panic and confusion. In just a moment, both his hands were crippled. Acting tough. Keep acting, Long Fei said as he looked at Palace Master Longevity. The great killing machine was already in a berserk state, and the more time it consumed, His killing intent was even purer. The number of powerhouse who died under the great killing weapon of the cycle of the heavens was already far too many to count. The concentration of that killing intent had already reached its limit. It was comparable to true damage. Come, try again. You dare to step foot in here, I'll chop off your feet. If you dare to come in here, I'll use it like a urinal, Long Fei said coldly. And now, the Palace Master of Longevity Palace had already lost his consciousness in pain. It was as if he had gone mad. Brat, I want you to die. I want you to die. The Palace Master of Longevity Palace was infuriated. Dong. The Palace Master of Longevity Palace was infuriated as a burst of red light burst out from her body. Long Fei's eyes moved. At this moment, he finally realized what was going on with the string of question marks behind the long line of blood traces. The power of immortality. With the eruption of this red light, Palace Head Longevity's arm actually grew back. The string of question marks had also changed. It became a real number. 100 million. 100 million. Long Fei was dumbstruck. This was a special energy that surpassed the original value of his life. Mutate. A mutation at Jubi. Long Fei's eyes lit up. The only thing I want to say about this mutation is, give me a dozen. Instantly, Long Fei, who was engulfed in killing intent, had an arrogant smile on his face. There was no helping it, this kind of sudden accident. It gave Long Fei a feeling as if he was on stimulants. Before, when he did not feel the light of the boss on Palace Chief Chongqing's body, Long Fei felt that it was a pity. Unexpectedly, the main event had just begun. On the other side, Palace Head Longevity had finally regenerated his arm after losing it. The number on top of his head had also become 170 million. Brat, you angered me. I am the Palace Master of Longevity Palace. Even if the world were to change, no one in the vast ocean and the blue sky will be able to harm me. Today, I will let you know what is called the power of longevity. Soul stealing, capture, devouring power. The Longevity Palace mistress shouted as an astonishing devouring force erupted from her hands. This power was entirely provided by his health point. It was his mutated attribute, the power of longevity. But this time, Palace Master Longevity had become smarter. He didn't even enter his slaughter domain, but instead absorbed it through the air. Shwa shwa shwa. The power of longevity transformed into a blood-red demon. Whale swallows the sea. Even his killing intent was devoured. Long Fei's body shook, and he could only feel his soul shaking. It was as if his soul had left his body and was no longer under his control. You are still far from stealing my soul. A big killing tool explode from me. Long Fei's eyes focused. Suddenly, the long blade in his hand swung out crazily. Every time it descended, it would behead the demon formed from the power of longevity. Boom, 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 boom. Long Fei slashed again and again, and in the entire space of the massacre, the power of longevity also continuously dissipated. Rumble, rumble, rumble. When Long Fei slashed out the 99th slash, all the power of longevity in the space instantly dissipated. Even Palace Head Longevity had turned pale at this moment. He flew backwards, as if he had lost control of his body. It heavily crashed into the ruins of the Longevity Palace. Puff! Palace Master Longevity spat out a mouthful of blood, his face filled with disbelief. Impossible. You only have the cultivation of the second level of the ancient era. How could you possibly withstand the power of my spirit plunder? No, I don't believe it. Feng Shun, the Palace Master of Longevity Palace, attacked once again. His body immediately flew out from the rubble, his speed so fast that even Long Fei could barely catch a glimpse of him. F***CK. Are they risking their lives? Long Fei's eyes turned cold. Looking at the attribute on Asgard Master Chongqing's body, which was falling crazily and consuming tens of millions of blood, he did not dare underestimate him. Rumble, rumble, rumble. At the same time, a huge crushing force descended from the sky. Even the slaughter domain was constantly shrinking. It was as if the entire world had been imprisoned. The huge crushing force suppressed Long Fei's heart, causing him to feel stuffy and his blood flow to reverse. His entire nervous system had become extremely oppressive, as if some kind of force was tightly binding it within his body. He couldn't use any strength at all. Ha ha, boy, you are so arrogant. You are so awesome. Once my divine seal, let alone you, even if you're at the peak of perfection, you have to obediently bow your head. Who are you to dare act so arrogantly in front of me? Palace Master Longevity was incomparably arrogant as he laughed maniacally in the air. Palace Master Longevity was incomparably arrogant as he laughed maniacally in the air. At this moment, he was like a king that turned defeat into victory and completely suppressed Long Fei. Inside the god-killing domain, Long Fei was extremely anxious. The tearing of his soul caused him to wish that he was dead. Pain. The pain was indescribable. This kind of pain far exceeded the five senses. Even though Long Fei had wandered back and forth between life and death countless times, at this moment, he felt that it was unbearable. It was as if his soul had been extracted and slowly divided into tens of millions of strands. Drip, 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 drip. Streams of blood trickled down Long Fei's forehead. His eyes had begun to blur. The pain almost made him lose his way. What Long Fei didn't know was that, at this moment, the B** cheese on the Mai's back suddenly opened their eyes. Big brother. Looking at the struggling Long Fei who had fallen into a coma, his young and tender face became extremely complicated. Within her eyes, a trace of fury and ruthlessness that didn't match her age appeared. Rays of milky white light radiated from her body once more. They flowed into the children of the remaining planar lords. In an instant, these children seemed to have been endowed with limitless power. They flew out from the planar emperor's body. Even Yahweh. The expressions of my E and the others changed. Not good. It's the obsession that I received earlier. They saw the person who devoured their souls, and they want to fight to the death. Hempen Clothed said anxiously, "How did this happen? Wasn't it fine just now?" The leader of the group asked in disbelief. Just now, it was Master who held the absolute advantage. Now that their Master has been suppressed, the unwillingness in their hearts has been stimulated. Mai said, but did not intervene to stop him. Then what do we do now? Should we not stop them? Why don't we just directly take action? As long as we kill this old trash from the Longevity Palace, everything will be settled. Right. Damn it. I've long wanted to kill this kind of trash who refines the soul to survive. All of the planar lords were filled with righteous indignation. Only the linen-robed man had an indifferent expression. Don't move. This method was too bizarre. I once heard the Longevity Emperor say that this is the ultimate opposite power of the power of longevity. Once a god is sealed, the soul will become incomplete and split into tens of thousands of pieces. And then I will search for even more that have the power of life, just like the path of longevity. In the end, The spellcaster forcibly took it away. To think that the current longevity palace has truly cultivated this kind of power. Hemp-and-clothed man looked cautious. Her intention was to stop the planar lord from making a move, precisely because she was afraid that if she did make a move now, it would affect Long Fei. Then what should we do? Shall we stop these people from having children? What if they make a move and affect the master? Right, how about we stop them? We can't let them harm master. The planar emperor spoke out in succession. However, Hemp-and-Clothes didn't move at all. Wait a moment. I believe in what the eternal emperor once said. Master will definitely be safe and sound. The linen robe spoke indifferently. At this time, Long Fei, who was inside the supreme divine domain, he seemed to have fallen into depravity. His vision had already blurred, and his consciousness had sunk into darkness. He couldn't even connect to the system anymore. But at this time, Long Fei's consciousness was extremely clear. He could clearly feel the indescribable power, like a sharp blade, capturing his soul and then pulling it out one by one. F***CK. What kind of power is this? If I didn't have the system, I would have died for sure. Long Fei said in his heart, No, I have to think of a way. Otherwise, if I cut your father's soul into 1,000 pieces and lose even a little bit of it, it will be troublesome. Long Fei thought. Suddenly, a black figure flashed past Long Fei's eyes. Long Fei stared blankly at her as his consciousness returned to his body. You too. Long Fei's eyes were filled with surprise. At this moment, he saw that the children behind Yaya had actually entered his god-slayer domain, and the souls within his body turned into streaks of milky white light that entered Long Fei's body. Long Fei was stupefied. He did not know what these existences were trying to do. But in the next moment, Long Fei felt his soul relax. The pressure instantly disappeared. Furthermore, as the milky white light fused into his body, Long Fei could clearly sense that his own soul was being repaired. Those that had been cut open slowly returned to their original state and were repaired. Long Fei was overjoyed. In any case, this was the will to live that had existed for who knew how many years. Long Fei did not mind it too much. 1 breath of time, 2 breaths of time, 3 breaths of time. As time passed, Long Fei could feel that his soul had gradually recovered. Imperceptibly, Long Fei felt that his spirit energy had been strengthened, as if he could no longer die, and his soul had become immortal. Ha! I didn't expect these existences to still have determination. An ant that has been dead for thousands of years and still wants to live. So what if I fix it for him? If you can repair it, I can bestow divine retribution upon you once more. Feng Shun, reseal it for me. In the air, the Lord of Longevity Palace laughed arrogantly. His blood bar once again plummeted, and he once more consumed most of it, leaving behind only 100 million. Long Fei felt his soul sink. The pain came again. However, what was different from before was that the moment he felt the pain, the milky white light appeared again. Killing intent exploded in Long Fei's eyes. No matter what, these people were killed by Palace Head Longevity, and now she was helping him. Even if they had nothing to do with each other, Long Fei still felt that he had to avenge them. But now, he was waiting for the power to disappear. At that time, it would be the end of Palace Head Longevity. So. The two forces collided. 1 minute, 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, Long Fei could clearly feel that the milky white-colored energy was slowly decreasing. It was simply not enough to resist against the soul-tearing strength of Palace Master Changsheng. This is bad, Long Fei thought. But at this moment, Yi suddenly took a step forward, walking in front of Long Fei. What are you doing? Long Fei's eyes moved as he had a bad premonition in his heart. Big brother, I know you saved us. Now you need us. Now is the time for us to repay you. A naive smile hung on his face. There was also a sense of relief, a feeling of relief. In the next moment, Yi and the children behind her, under the guidance of the milky white light, pulled out their souls. This was their home. Life soul. Whiz. A boy's soul smiled at Long Fei and entered Long Fei's body. No! Long Fei roared, his eyes red. His heart became incomparably heavy. Next, the second one. The third. Every time one of them disappeared, Long Fei could feel that his soul had returned to normal. However, the pain in Long Fei's heart had already reached its limit. Big brother, there's still the last one left. Let the pussy do it. Yi sweetly smiled and walked out with her soul. Long Fei struggled to refuse. Long Fei struggled to refuse. This scene caused Long Fei to feel extremely unresigned in his heart. He wanted to stop her, but his soul had yet to be fully recovered. He could only watch on helplessly, unable to return to his body. No, there's no need to talk about lacking a soul. Don't do anything stupid. I want you to live. Long Fei's heart was close to roaring, and that feeling of powerlessness spread throughout his body, seeping into his bones. At this moment, Long Fei deeply felt regret. If he had not given Palace Head Longevity a chance to act cool and use the heavenly god frenzy, this situation wouldn't have happened. Didn't care about getting hurt at all. He could let her use her life's soul to dissolve his pain and help him. Long Fei could not accept this. However, Yi's soul had already left his body. With a smile of relief, she walked towards him step by step. Yi, no, absolutely not. There are too many innocent lives lost to me already. I can't let anything bad happen to you. Long Fei made up his mind. Right now, there was only one option. That was to break through the shackles and dissipate the power of longevity from his soul. This was the only way to prevent the power of her soul from being absorbed into it. However, if he did so, it would result in his own soul being separated and would be difficult to merge with. But right now, Long Fei couldn't care so much anymore. Break for me. Long Fei's consciousness started to attack. Boom! Long Fei gathered all of his souls together and began to forcefully attack. You still want to fight back? He's really overestimating himself. Your soul has been split apart. You still dare to attack my power? Today my soul will shatter. In the distance, Palace Master Longevity had a cold smile on his face. In his eyes, Long Fei had already died. Divine seal, soul seizing. It was his way of offering. And the offering was Long Fei. He was the master of the memorial. Stop struggling. As long as a strand of your soul doesn't merge with it, you won't be able to break free. Once the life's soul power disappears, you will also die. I want you to use the power of your soul to honor the immortal glory of my Longevity Palace. The Palace Master of Longevity Palace said sinisterly. At this moment, from the depths of the Longevity Palace, several elders slowly walked out. The Palace Master is indeed powerful. She subdued him the moment she attacked. Throughout all these years, no one has dared to provoke the dignity of my Longevity Palace. Today, I shall make his life worse than death. Right, divide his soul into 1,000 portions and place them on a plate. We'll eat together. Although this child is hateful, his power is still quite good. One person is worth thousands. Especially for someone like him who has nowhere to live. His life spirit is even more delicious. The people of the Longevity Palace were overjoyed. Previously, they hadn't dared to show their faces at all. Now that they had been subdued by Palace Head Longevity, they were already fearless. That's right. Since he has killed so many people from our Longevity Palace, he will use his life soul to serve as our food. Unfortunately, young Master Changsheng is still in closed-door cultivation. Otherwise, young Master wouldn't even need for the Palace Master's help to subdue him when he comes out. I can feel that young Master is about to come out of seclusion. As they spoke, their eyes were filled with greed. It was at this moment that a boom resounded from the depths of the Longevity Palace. Then a figure walked out. His red robe seemed extremely noble. Young Master, you finally came out, otherwise you would have missed a good show. The elder quickly said, Who is this? For the Askar mistress to actually use the divine sealing soul seizing art. Longevity Gongzi spoke blandly, his lips brushing past the corners of his lips. He was extremely bewitching. Young Master, you don't know that this dog had previously destroyed a disciple's operation. Later on, he even wantonly attacked our longevity palace. How reckless! The longevity palace elder flattered him and said with a smile, "Kill my longevity palace disciples? How audacious! Those few people also came together with this dog. I'll reward you guys." Longevity Gongzi said as he looked at my and the others. When the few elders heard this, a vicious look appeared on their faces. "I've been waiting for my salary to come. We'll talk about it later with this dog's soul. However, all of you can just treat it as an appetizer. Make your move. Kill them and sacrifice their teeth." Several elders said as they rushed down. The expressions of hempen clothed and the others remained unchanged. They had all once been super powerhouse of their own plane, so they had never seen any battle formations before. "You dare to attack us? It's time to make the world tremble. Old ghosts, let's see who kills more." The planar lords had wanted to attack long ago, and if it hadn't been for Hemplin blocking them, they would have long ago clashed head-on against Palace Master Longevity. Hempen-clothed man also had a cold expression. The reason why she did not make a move was because she was afraid that it would affect Long Fei, since she had taken Long Fei into account. However, he had no choice. Long Fei's situation was too unknown. If he continued to wait, he could only sit and wait for death. Go ahead and kill. It wasn't easy to get here, but you have to let people know what it means to be respectful. Also, make the Emperor's legacy become like this. If they don't die, how can they face the Emperor? As he spoke, he took the first step. A copper coin appeared in her hand. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The copper coin revolved in the hempen-clothed man's hands, gradually becoming incomparably large. Copper coins, currently, even the Grand Miss crystals are useless. A bunch of poor cowards. I don't know what sort of place they popped out of, but they actually use copper coins as their weapon. Is this a soul treasure? Taunt, sneer, one after another. In their eyes, they did not even put the linen robe man in their eyes. A bunch of little bastards. When Lousy was acting so arrogantly, you didn't even King know where you were kneeling and licking. The master of a plane had made his move. He could no longer endure such mockery. He punched out, and then it turned into a huge mountain heavily crashing down. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Mountains crumbled one after another. An elder of Longevity Palace didn't get to dodge in time and was smashed into meat patties. "I'll do it." Yet another lord of another plane had stepped forward. He transformed into a 30,000-meter tall giant, and his body flickered as he transformed into a whistling wind. With a stretch of his hand, he grabbed the person from the Longevity Palace. With a slight tug, he crushed the person into a chunk of flesh and blood, scattering them into the air. Me too. The master of the third plane transformed into a giant tree that covered the skies. Every time he swayed, a branch would pierce through the chest of an elder of the Longevity Palace, killing him on the spot. In the blink of an eye, 9 elders of the Longevity Palace had fallen. Only one was left, and he was frightened out of his wits as he walked to the side of young Master Zhongshun. Come on, aren't you trying to kill us? Come, don't be cowardly. Who dares? Who's the grandson? All of the planar lords were incomparably arrogant. The Palace of Longevity and the young Master of Longevity. In their eyes, violence was the only way. But right at this moment, Master Longevity made his move. He took a step forward. Beneath the red robe, a strange energy was growing out from his stomach. You think that our Longevity Palace won't be able to kill a few trash? One move is enough to kill you all. The sky suddenly changed. The sky suddenly changed. Even the Longevity Mountain was shaking. Even the masters of the other planes found it hard to maintain balance as they swayed back and forth. Rumble, 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 rumble. An enormous power exploded from the mountain, penetrating through the mountain and directly connecting with Master Longevity. You ants, you will never know the power of an emperor's inheritance. A single move is enough to kill all of you. Young Master Chongqing's red robe fluttered in the wind, extremely disdainful. Longevity Day, soul burial ground, soul suppressing. Master Chongqing shouted. Suddenly, the eternal mountain beneath the feet of the planar emperor suddenly exploded, and an enormous abyss appeared out of nowhere. Even the sovereigns of the plains weren't able to react. Boom! A bloody light burst out from the abyss. It directly devoured the Lord of the Plain. Soon after, the entire world was covered in blood. Aside from the hemp robe, all the other planar lords were covered in blood. However, the hemp clothes were different. The color of blood was not only from Hempsy's body. At the same time, the copper coin in her hand became even stranger. It hovered in the air before disappearing into the endless blood red. Young Master Longevity's expression changed, extremely embarrassed. He could actually feel the power of the longevity mountain that he had summoned slowly being devoured. It was devoured by that coin. Impossible. This is the power of the immortal emperor. Who are you? How could you possibly absorb this kind of power? Master Longevity took a step forward and pressed himself right in front of the linen robes. He was completely unafraid. She didn't even raise her head. He directly slapped over. Boom! Young Master Chongqing took a step back, and the power of his longevity blocked the power of the hemp garment. You all are really a bunch of animals. You even dare to go to the grave of the life emperor. Emperor Chongqing truly has raised a bunch of ingrate. I taught you the path of longevity, but in the end, even the tomb was moved by you. Bastards, you bunch of beasts. I must kill all of you. Hemp-clothed man's eyes were red. He couldn't wait to kill young Master Chongqing right now. But now, the Lord of the Realm was more important. She knew that the Master of the Plain was very important to Long Fei. So even if she was burning with anger right now, she wouldn't dare to not save him. So. The copper coin spun faster and faster in the endless crimson light. Streams of blood-red energy were devoured by the copper coin. The copper coin turned into a red blood ball. At the same time, the figure of the Lord appeared from within the crowd. However, each and every one of them was heavily injured and riddled with thousands of wounds. Hempen-clothed man quickly struck out, flying through the air and rescuing the planar lords one by one. Master, hurry up and come out. They're going to die. Hemplin was worried, and all of this was witnessed by Long Fei. The current Long Fei was similarly resisting the power of longevity. Master, are you sure you want to do this? In the space, Long Quang asked with a deep tone, Is there a better way? I can't just watch as you die. Someone has already died for me, but I, Long Fei, don't care about my life. But I won't let anyone else die for me either. If you have no other way, then shut up. Long Fei said in a deep voice. He knew that Long Quang was doing it out of good intentions. But now, he had to make a decision. Both the Master of the Outside World and the Master of the Outside World were in danger. Only when he broke out of this shackle would he be able to solve the problem. Great killing weapon. Kill, Long Fei said in his heart as he looked at her. Swish! The great killing weapon, the blade light, struck directly at him. Sigh! A sharp pain spread across Long Fei's heart. This slash had severed that sliver of his soul. This was the only way to regain control of his body and break free of the Palace Master's soul-sealing bind. Ding! Slaughter Domain Time Final. At the same time, Long Fei suddenly opened his eyes. Without any hesitation, he directly took that split soul power, Yiya's soul and body, and stored them in the system space. And then he looked towards young Master Longevity. Right now, young Master Longevity was looking excitedly at the ball of blood floating in the air. A greedy look appeared in his eyes. The longevity ball. I didn't expect it to be the pearl of life. This sort of legendary object was actually formed from a single copper coin. I am indeed the fated eldest son. Once I obtain the orb of life, I will be invincible, even if I am at the peak of the ultimate supreme realm. What 13 emperors' inheritances? They're all dog shit. As long as I can obtain the orb of life and the qualifications to enter the god of boundary, who else could I be? Young Master Longevity laughed. I'll let you go. For someone who is like a bastard and who dares to hurt me, Who the hell gives you the qualifications? Long Fei roared. Without saying a word, he slashed his blade over. Boom! Blade light swept across the sky, and the surging blade, chi, disappeared in a flash. It hacked down. Young Master Longevity's expression changed drastically as he suddenly reacted, pulling the elder beside him and placing him in front of himself as a shield. Ka! Asterisk the elder died. Ding! The system beep appeared, but Long Fei did not react. At this level, apart from some EXP, not even trash would drop. Master Longevity, right? From today onwards, your name will be changed. You will be called a short-lived, brainless idiot. Because today, even if Emperor Changsheng were to be reborn, you wouldn't be able to save your pathetic life. Killing intent exploded in Long Fei's eyes. He only had one thought in his mind, and that was to kill young Master Longevity, destroy Palace Lord Longevity, and destroy the Longevity Palace. With just you, an existence just like an ant dares to speak such arrogant words. Ask our mistress, I'll leave this brat to you. I am going to snatch the pearl of life. Young Master Longevity said in disdain. After that, the figure of the Longevity Palace mistress also descended from the skies, and at this moment, his gaze was firmly fixated on Long Fei. He actually cut off his own soul, idiot. No wonder he was able to struggle free from my power. So he was using this method. Also, your absolute domain has disappeared, right? What qualifications does the current you have to fight me? Palace Master Longevity said as he looked at Long Fei and then struck down with his palm. Heaven returning palm. Pow! A palm descended from the sky. Long Fei fearlessly charged forward to meet him head-on. 8. Extreme Berserk. Boom! Asterisk the moment the fist and palm collided, space collapsed and space distorted. The figure of Palace Master Longevity was sent flying backwards. Even though he was a boss, he only had a little more than half of his HP left. With such power, even if he used the God of Heaven fanaticism, Long Fei would still feel that it was a waste. Boom! Asterisk a loud sound of impact could be heard. After smashing into the ruins of the Longevity Palace, the figure of Palace Lord Longevity was in an extremely miserable state. Long Fei walked forward step by step, arriving in front of the Palace Master of Longevity Palace. Shout again. Come on. Feng Shun? Stealing the soul? Do it again. The anger in Long Fei's eyes exploded. All of this was caused by Longevity Palace's Palace Master. Not only did he cause his soul to split, he also caused Yaya to lose her life. All of this just as Long Fei was about to attack and strike a fatal blow towards Palace Master Longevity. Mai Yi's voice suddenly came out. Master, be careful. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.